welcome to the Unified live stream, ladies and gentlemen. It's another Thursday night with Mac Dewey and Billabang.
What's up?
It's the lower bracket playoffs. Tempest Gaming Vipers are taking on Akuma Esports. It's going to be a best of three for us, Billabang, tonight. I'm super excited. How are you feeling tonight, my man?
I'm feeling so ready for this. We're in playoffs, so these teams already been through one round, so they got a long way to go still before we get towards those finals. But we're ramping up here. We should have a really close matchup too. As the playoffs go on, you get these type matchups. Both teams look very even on both sides of the rift. So for me, this really is anybody's series, and both teams are going to be coming at it hard out the gate here.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at the rosters as Billabang. I've got some players that I want to keep my eyes on. Vitalize in the jungle for Akuma has been absolutely awesome this season. And on the side of Tempest Gaming Vipers, this mid-jungle duo is what I'm thinking about paying attention to this game. Billabang, what do you think?
I think it's going to be all about the bot lanes. I think for me, especially looking at the meta right now, it's super flexible in what you want to play. We know earlier in the year, it was really just very, very much like Lucian, Nami, and then whatever you could do to counter it, like Zeri, Yumi. But we've seen so much throughout a lot of the pro leagues the last couple of weeks. You've seen Draven come out. We've seen Twitch come out. We've seen, even reworked Sivir. I don't know if it's available just yet, but I know there's going to be some interesting things in bot. Obviously, Lucian Nami still going to be there, but for me, that's where I want to focus a lot because I think it's really going to be interesting to see what these two teams go for looking towards that bot lane.
And looking back through the course of both of these teams' seasons, so far for Tempest Gaming, the bot lane has been kind of a question mark as Maritimus has been kind of playing ADC shuffle. It looks like Erase is going to be joining him in the bot lane for today's action, playing a little bit of Zeri, what you talked about, Billabang, so we may see that for Tempest Gaming. He's also brought out Varus with Maritimus on the Lulu, so I think it will be interesting how having Erase in the bot lane will kind of impact things because Maritimus can literally play like any support he wants to pretty well. We've seen Pike, we've seen some aggressive stuff from him, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how the drafts unfold and see what direction the Tempest Gaming squad takes because I wonder, I feel like aggressive bot lanes have been really, really strong lately.
Yeah, I mean, aggressive bot lanes, then usually you have tank top. Jungle is going to be interesting too, because I think for me, like, especially until basically the patch came out last week, it was Volibear and Volibear only. And now we have Wukong still in there in the mix, but we have a lot of different junglers. Viego obviously still there, but there's some other options as well. We saw some buffs to some assassin jungles. The assassin items also got move speed buffs as well as a little bit here or there, a couple AD. So I think for me, that's also a possibility. You've seen some Akali flex between mid and top. So it's opened up the meta a lot more, and it makes things feel less stock standard, as well as a couple scaling stuff like Corki being toned down. So for me, it leaves it wide open, and hopefully we see a lot more variety in the draft in this series.
Yeah, Akuma Esports, looking at their side on the Rift, Billabang, they're coming back from last week's tough loss against the Zenigma Dark Stars. They lost 0-2, but they're down but not out. They may have been knocked down here into the losers bracket, but I'm here to see how they're going to bounce back here today against the Tempest Gaming Vipers.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how they can bounce back. It's always tough getting swept, especially in that first round of playoffs, but that's why you have the double elim. That's why you have the possibility to strike back, get yourself some sure footing moving forward in this one. And now there's no mistakes. You can't let anything slip here in this series. And for Tempest Gaming, you got to be ready, firing on all cylinders. This team's going to be looking for revenge. Especially you're talking about the bot lane kind of question mark. So it is going to have to be them reinforcing it. The bot lane erase, we'll find out, I guess, as we go on. But definitely looking for him to step up here and see if he can make a huge difference in this one.
Yeah, we'll have to see how well of a job he does erasing some of the Akuma health bars. Nice. And really, I'm looking forward, again, coming back to the mid-jungle duo. Mitch and Moan have been so consistent throughout the season. Mitch on the mages and some serious jungle threat coming from Tempest as well as Akuma. I think we're going to get a carry jungle face-off today. That's what I've kind of got my fingers crossed for, as that's what I'm hoping for to see from today's draft, Billabang.
Yeah, and especially because there are a lot of carry junglers coming back into the meta. Something like the Kindred, super huge priority now, super big in the jungle. We have even playmaking ones like Lee Sin finally coming back. So definitely for me, looking forward to some of those playmakers. And I mean, it helps too that top lane meta has shifted a bit. We do have Gangplank, Gnar, super prolific top laners, and probably will be picked commonly here. But we got stuff like the Fiora who's coming back, as well as Camille. So you got a lot of potential there. We'll see how they kind of match up. Hopefully we get a lot of action in this series, because for me, both teams game one, you got to come out strong, got to come out swinging, try to make your mark in this playoffs.
Tempest Gaming Vipers coming back from, after starting the season 1-1, I believe. Actually, they started the season 2-1, Billabang, and then lost 2 in a row to finish 3rd in the division over on down. I believe it was in the Mountain Division. Yes, that is how the Tempest Gaming Vipers ended up down here in the losers bracket. Let's see. We've got game number 1 draft in front of you guys. The game is now starting up here. Billabang, let's hop into things.
I can't wait to see this. I think for me, big question mark going to be Seraphine, still untouched as of 12-13. Still can be flex mid, can be flex bot, can be flex support. Absolute massive pick. We're going to see the Akshan banned away first, actually. So interesting there. I did see a bit of Akshan for no flame top brain there, so maybe something that they didn't want to face off against, something they didn't want. Because, I mean, an Akshan can really take over a game if he gets ahead, something that snowballs especially well in top with a good jungler that's going to float around you. So a good ban there to start us off. We're going to see the timer go down to 1 here on this first ban. It's going to be the Kazakhs.
Yep, taking that away from Moan. Something to keep our eyes on, which junglers are going to be banned away. Funny enough, I think after seeing the Kazakhs banned away by Akuma, I wonder if we are going to see Vitalize's Rengar taken away from him. Got the Kazakhs Rengar.
Ooh, good call.
Baby?
Good call. Yeah.
Funny how we get those 2 assassins now popping up on the band side.
Yeah, we are going to get him pushing through here. A couple of assassins taken away. And I always love the Rengar Kazakhs matchup. I'm kind of sad they're both banned away, because it's that extra little thing. There's a couple little things, like they have the Lucian Senna Thresh thing as well, where you get a little bit of extra action. But like it adds that extra layer of fun to the game and something else to keep track of as you're going. And so I think they really should add more stuff like that to League. I think it'd make it more fun. Even if it's just small little buffs that you get, I think it really would make a big difference. But we are going to get the Riven ban here. Riven was 100%. It is so strong right now. It hasn't been touched in several patches. Ever since the durability patch has been so strong. And because it's not really huge in pro play, it hasn't really gone by Riot. So definitely one that's been kind of sliding under the radar for a lot of these teams. But looks like Illinois College is going to take that away, and that's going to be Kindred taken away from Tempest Gaming.
Come on, guys! I want the carry jungler matchup. I wonder who is going to be left. I mean, Billabang, where do you think the standard picks from the last couple of patches, how are those still around now? I mean, we've got the Viego and the Wukong still available. Yeah. Do you think the teams should try to just go for that?
I mean, Lilia is going to be the final one taken away here. So both of those junglers are up. You don't necessarily have to first pick it, because those are probably the 2 strongest things left up. You can maybe look towards a bot lane pick here if you want to maybe slam the Zeri for TGV. AKM might take the Lucian Nami. So I think that's most likely going to be where this draft is going to be ADC pick. And then we'll see from there on what they go for. But for me, I think this has to be the Zeri. Very strong first pick here, and it's going to be the Wukong. So that is going to be the first one taken away. I'm expecting a Viego now here at some point for Illinois, if not these first 2 in that 3rd pick.
Well, Billabang, I think you're right on the money with your mind kind of going straight to the Zeri pick. For me, Seraphine is another one of those champions that pop up as they're available right now on the board, and they can really make a composition come together. But here is some of the carry potential that I wanted to see from the jungle. Vitalize getting his hands on a comfort pick with this Lee Sin.
Yeah, I like that. I like the early action making. It means that Wukong isn't just going to be able to free farm early. He is going to be forced to try and match this Lee Sin. We'll see what the second rotation pick is here from AKM. If you take something like that, it is going to be the Seraphine. So now Lucian Nami is open for Tempest Gaming if they want to go for it. That gives you really, really good early game paired with the Wukong. Excellent team fight. And yeah, that is what they're going to go for here. Oh, maybe not.
It's a toughie here for the side of Tempest right now, Billabang. They've got the Zeri option. They're kind of sampling a little bit. I think that we've seen a race pop off on the Zeri a little bit before. It seems like his kind of ADC playstyle is more leaned towards the
like
hyper
this.
carry potential. Galio, though, is going to come through for Mitch. We've seen a little bit of Twisted Fate from him earlier in the season, so I like this pick for the mobility that it gives Mitch on the map to make plays.
And not only that, it also gives you that insane wombo combo with Wukong where you can jump into a team. You get that global ultimate and there's nowhere you can go. And especially someone like a Seraphine, so squishy in a team fight. If you can get in on the back line with that Wukong, you can put the Galio on top of it, and that's enough CC most likely to take out the Seraphine in a fight. Galio also got a Q buff, so he is going to be much stronger in lane. And Kaisa going to be the third choice here for Tempest Gaming. So I guess no Lucian Nami this game, which is... I mean, technically, I guess Illinois can still go for it if they want to put the Seraphine mid, but I don't know if I'd like that into the Galio.
And now it's kind of interesting. This Zaya lock-in for keyboarder. No Ezreal from him this time around. No Tristana, which is another ADC we've seen from keyboarder. So kind of bold decision here. I think it's kind of good into the dive that Kaisa, Galio, and Wukong want to do. So not a bad lock-in here as we make our way into the second phase of bans.
I feel like this is 2018 again. The Kaisa Zaya lock-in is also much of that, but it is going to be the Tom Kench banned away as well as the Nautilus, so no engage potential for that bot lane with the Zaya. Probably a couple more support bans coming through, I'm assuming, for the side of TGV and Illinois. I think right now you're trying to pinch that pool down. We'll see where they end up going if they go for that engage style, especially if you're Tempest Gaming. I think you really do want to find an engage support to help you all in onto the Seraphine Zaya, because if you're able to get into that backline, it's going to make life very, very difficult for Ratchet here. It is going to be the Olaf taken away. Interesting choice.
Now it's time for the solo laners of Akuma to kind of figure out what we got going on here. So
makes sense.
Rakan, though, is going to get locked in. Sorry, Billabang. Seraphine potentially going into the mid lane.
Yeah, I think that's what I was assuming. It was either going to be Seraphine. It was going to be Seraphine mid most likely here. Renekton going to be picked up for the side of TGV. That is a very, very strong top half here now. And Renekton also buffed in this patch is going to be getting a little bit of a Q, and the R is also getting stronger. So really strong early team fighting for Tempest here. Illinois is going to have to try and find a way to negate some of that early game. You do have the Lee Sin to help you out, but at level 6, that dive is going to be so hard to defend against. And Azir is going to be the final pick here. So, Galio support, I guess?
And Azir coming through. Wait a minute. Billabang, Galio in the bot lane, Mundo to round out the Akuma composition. Very interesting end to this draft. What do you make of what we've seen now?
So, I don't mind the Galio in the bot. I think the combo with Moan, as soon as you hit level 6, is going to be super strong. I think the thing is, though, the Azir into the Seraphine, it's really going to be TGV sided. I think you're not really going to give Seraphine a lot of chance to roam, influence stuff early. I think team fights, again, it is really going to be about positioning. Can you get the Seraphine out of the way? And the other problem, too, right now is you have the Lee Sin Seraphine. Not a lot of synergy between those two. You can have really good synergy with the Wukong Azir comboing ults. I think for me, the only problem I see with TGV's draft is they are a lot of scaling between the mid and the Kaisa. I mean, you have the Renekton early, but only going to be so much help. You're going onto a Mundo, so you're not really going to be able to take advantage of that early pressure you might have. So if Illinois can get off the ground quickly and get moving with that Zaya, get some kills in, even get this Mundo up popping. That's really where they're going to win the game. If this goes late, I don't think there's any way for them to stop the absolute CC storm that TGV have here in this game.
And not only that, you kind of have the synergy from the bot lane to help out what the top side of the map have to offer to the composition. So really interesting setup here from Tempest. Looking on the Akuma side of the Rift, Billabang, let me get your thoughts here on what they're kind of looking for to kind of counteract what Tempest Gaming have going on with their dive comp.
I mean, Zaya always going to be a good pick into a dive comp because you have the R availability. You're able to escape from that initial CC. I think the thing is, though, Seraphine doesn't have that escape, has to play really far back. And outside of the Zaya, I don't really see any more damage sources. So for me, for AKM, the way to win this game, protect that Zaya, make sure she doesn't die. And if the fights go longer, you have Mundo, you have Seraphine healing, you have a lot of sustain, and you even the Rakan healing as well. You have a lot of sustain. So if you can survive the initial engage, I think you have a really good chance of biting back, able to actually win team fights. So for AKM, it's going to be all about, can you actually find a way to survive this dive? If you can do that, you can win team fights. You are going to be able to out-sustain them. I think the problem is TGV, you have so much CC, you have so much availability between Galia, Wukong, Renekton, even the Azir diving in. Like, it is so much pressure. So it's all on keyboard. He's got to be a keyboard warrior and able to actually outplay this TGV dive. And if he can do that, he's going to sweep this game.
Yeah, Akuma looking to bounce back from a rough start to the playoffs. Their run is not over just yet, and the Tempest Gaming Vipers finishing third place at the end of the regular season means they have landed themselves in the losers bracket to start after ending the season on an 0-2 streak. Billabang, both games went to all three matches, so it was 1-2 losses for the Tempest Vipers. I bet they have something to prove here in the losers bracket as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to hop into a quick break as we get ready and loaded up onto the Rift. Don't click out of that browser just yet. Game number 1 is coming your way in just a sec. Hello, summoners! Welcome on to the Rift for game number 1 of our special Thursday night lower bracket playoff matchup. It's the Tempest Gaming Vipers taking on Akuma Esports. The loser is out of the UAL playoffs, and the winner moves on and keeps on going. My name's Mac Dewey, still with me in the casting booth for our first match of the night is none other than my main man, Billabang. Which matchup
What's
are
up?
you watching after we've made our way through draft?
I think for me, it's probably going to be a pretty quiet early game. If anything, it's going to be the Wukong Renekton trying to take down the Mundo early. But Mundo, he's a big boy. He doesn't go down very easily. So I definitely think for me, early games should be fairly quiet between these two teams if they're playing. I think the only possibility, again, is probably going to be the top lane. Maybe even Lee Sin goes for a play with the Rakan onto the Renekton or the Wukong. But outside of that, should be relatively quiet. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again. There's so many times where I'm like, oh, this is going to be a quiet early game. Nobody's really going to do a lot of activity. You're looking Ratchet and Keyboarder, you're Rizai, Rakan, you're not really going to be doing too much. And then just out of nowhere, everybody just wants to fight level 2. So
yeah, we get our UAL special. 10 plus kills in the first 5 minutes, maybe. We'll see. What I do think is interesting, No Flame Top Brain in the top lane has been bringing out a lot of special picks, I'd like to say, throughout the season. He's brought out Yorick a little bit, and so I think seeing his Dr. Mundo now come out for the losers bracket playoff matchup that we have here today, Billabang, is a very on the money for what to expect from Top Brain up there.
Yeah, for me too, I'm looking at Martimus. I talked about the Galio Q buff, so he is probably going to be maxing that for damage onto the Xayah. I definitely think, it is a Rakan, so a decent amount of healing's going to come through, but I think they are definitely going to feel that extra Q damage coming through here. Level 2 for Renekton. On's going to walk up, and he's got to keep doing this. As soon as he gets those level advantages, walk up, just try and get a little bit of poke in onto the Mundo, force him off of the wave. And, I mean, as Renekton, you're kind of on that timer, right? You are only really useful for the first 20, 25 minutes of the game. After that, you're a CC bot, but outside of that, you're not really going to be doing too much damage. So definitely on a timer, we'll have to see how effective he is in this early game.
Meanwhile, I did notice a little bit of action, subtle action, Billabang, going on in the bot lane. Vitalize maybe has a gank opportunity. There has been a trinket ward placed down by a race to cover that river bush, but the wave was set up pretty nicely there by Keyboarder and Ratchet at the very least to keep the wave kind of in front of their turret so they don't have to extend super far up into this very aggressive Kaisa Galio lane. But I wonder now maybe if it looks like it's slow pushing down.
Lee Sin walking up towards the mid lane. Might look for something here. Vitalize, again, it is Lee Sin. You are on that early game timer as well. I definitely want to try and make something happen here, but
meanwhile,
like oh
my goodness! First blood going over to Tempest Gaming. Billabang, it looked like his health bar just disappeared.
That's the power of the Renekton early, is you get a combo with the Wukong. All you need is a little bit of CC there. Slices and dices through the Mundo. And now you saw the lethality coming through already for the Renekton. It's going to make Mundo's life even harder in top lane. He picked up 2 Ruby Crystals, so a little bit of extra HP there. But still, you know that dive could come again. Smart job by No Flame. He's keeping that flash, though. Does mean he won't be as in danger as he would have been if he tried to escape from that gank.
Meanwhile, Akuma looking to maybe respond in the mid lane after seeing Moan in the top side. Ratchet coming up with Vitalize. Mitch is trying to get out of here. Flashes away from the grand entrance, is going to avoid the gank there in the mid lane. Well done.
Look at that damage put down, though. That's absolutely huge. And press the attack. As soon as he gets that through, is going to do so much damage to this Mundo. He has to be careful because he does know Wukong most likely is on the bottom half. I think they spotted him out with that ward in the bottom brush, but still has to know this Renekton can 1v1 him very easily if he gets that CC through. Has to make sure that CC shield is up and available. And for me, again, looking throughout this map, I want to see the Lee Sin start doing some stuff here. Maybe look towards Hansley. You see how active he wants to be. Look at that poke coming through. Just chunking out. But look at 1Q back. About even HP, you see Lee Sin pathing towards it. Wukong gonna be on the way as well. Should see a jungler clash up here in top very soon.
Vitalize maybe has to consider, okay, how far is too far for Hans to get ahead in lane? Right now, the wave set up in a really good position for this Renekton right now, but a big item completion with the Bombi Cinder in boots is certainly going to help No Flame up there kind of find his way back into the game. Dragon has spawned on the bottom side of the map. We got Rift Herald coming up at the 8-minute mark, and right now Tempest Vipers with a little bit of a disadvantage on the bottom side of the map certainly have a lot going their way with Hans on the top side.
Yeah, I gotta get something going here. We look in the mid lane again. It is just the Seraphine poking out the Azir, just using those mana bars, and like you said, it wasn't gonna be a lot of activity in the early game here. We see now Wukong going for maybe another dive here. Level 6 for Renekton. Hans could go for this. Dragon is being taken by the rest of Akuma, so the answer at least will be Dragon. Will they be able to dive this? He has to get level 6 in top or else he might be dead.
Hans just going to back off as the wave crashes into the turret. Akuma succeed in getting the dragon on the bottom side of the map, and there's no top dive as a recall is being channeled now by Hans.
He's going to get a couple long swords, but in the end, it is just a dragon for nothing. Maybe top, you got a couple Gromps, maybe the red buff if you're Wukong, but outside of that, nothing really. And a Hextech Drake coming through for the side of Akuma, so definitely a W there. And they need it in the early game. We need to see that. They need to be able to survive this early game and get towards that late game when the healing, the sustain is going to come through for a couple members here. I wonder how early Grievous Wounds is going to come through for the side of Tempest Vipers, because they are going to need it really, really badly, especially throughout the mid game.
Yeah, you've got Mundo plus Seraphine. It's going to be quite the task ahead of the Tempest squad to work their way not only through the healing of the Mundo ultimate, but also Fluke supporting the huge frontliner as well. So good point. I think you bring up something to keep our eyes out for as we make our way into the mid-game. Recalls being channeled in the bot lane. Rift Herald about to spawn up, as that's where my eyes are looking right now. Who's going to be able to make a play around that side of the map?
I think it's where a lot of eyes are going to be going here. 1k gold difference, not too bad, especially right now considering the fact that Akuma is pretty late game oriented. Would like to see some action maybe here. Level 6 being picked up, about to be for the Wukong junglers. Both ultimates available, and now we do see possibility of a top lane dive here. Maybe, I mean, Renekton could go for a top dive. It'd be tough, but it's definitely possible now that he has the boots as well as a lot of lethality. Ooh, might be a fight here mid.
Ratchet getting caught underneath the turret with no flash. He's just going to get taken down. Cutting in the storm is Vitalize and Fluke. They're forced to back off as a surprise. Emperor's Divide catches Ratchet unprepared.
Definitely a free kill there. And now you can look. Ooh, this is going to be... Ooh, doesn't actually catch him out, but it is most likely going to be... Yeah, it's going to be a free Herald. So they do get something in that... in there. I mean, for me, a free kill. Really not much you could do. As soon as you land that W, no flash available for Azir was just coming up. So yeah, 1 kill over. And realistically, I think, again, it is just going to be early game for Tempest. They are going to keep using that to their advantage. We're going to see a lot more of the roaming. And as soon as Galio hits level 6, that's also going to be where I think the game is really going to explode.
And as you were talking about during the draft, we got into this synergy between this Galio pick and Moan's Wukong, the potential to not only look for engages, but buy enough time for the hero to make his heroic entrance. With the Rift Herald in inventory, Moan thinking about a top lane play and does pick up that Scuttle Crab. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, Ratchet not quite yet level 6. The taunt is going to catch him up. A bit of a trade between the supports, but no engage. Race is not interested in coming between. No. He would never dare interrupt a support duel.
No, of course not. You got to respect when the supports are slapping each other, because, you know, it's not like a Rakan Galio. you're never really going to be doing a ton of damage to each other. You're just going to kind of be slapping each other a little bit
Yeah,
around. But
yeah.
I do like that. I saw there was in the LPL there was a couple of supports that were on the same team, ended up on different ones, and now they were just walked up level 1, kind of taunted at each other. I do like that camaraderie between people. We're going to see actually level 6 here for support and ADC. Erase and Martimus might want to go for a fight here because Ratchet doesn't have level 6 yet. We'll see if maybe they go for it.
No signs of aggression so far. I do want to point out Hans getting his mythic item online, the Prowler's Claw, for the Renekton here, as a big ol' World's Trophy is going to cleave out some of the health there on the Croc. Moan still with the Rift Herald, now heading back onto the map. May look to place it on bot as the next dragon is spawning up here in 30 seconds.
Cloud is on the table for one of these teams. We're going to see Wukong and Azir both heading towards bot. Reset hasn't come through just yet for the Rakan. So are trying to stop that one. Ooh, not going to land the taunt just yet. Able to dodge out from that one. Mitch going to be here on fault. But you see both mid laners move down. Renekton has the first move down and no TP from Mundo. He just TP to top lane. So they might not be able to actually fight this dragon.
2 control wards in the bush there. That's a lot of vision to work through. But regardless, Tempest
That's 60 gold.
Going to be there as the objective spawns. 60 gold plus the dragon getting in their pocket. Vitalize not responding to the objective take. Ratchet just now getting level 6. Akuma, they know they're down right now. And giving over a dragon there to Tempest, not the biggest deal.
Yeah, especially because Mundo gets a few more plates in top, gets that durability going, can back. You see already so much armor built up for this Mundo. Means that Renekton does have the Prowler's Claw, does have a lot of damage, but the more armor this Mundo is able to get, the less damaging it might be. 1v1 between the ADCs here. Keyboarder doesn't hit the E though. Ray's probably going to walk away.
Meanwhile, this support jungle duo that we've been focusing on a little bit throughout game number 1, Moan and Martimus squatting up a little bit but unable to find any skirmishes right now. I wonder if they've been spotted. There's a control ward there by the red buff. Moan trying to get in. Here's the Cyclone. There's the hero's entrance. Erase getting real low. Gonna dash back. Vitalize unable to finish off the kill onto the Tempest ADC. Ratchet is going to be easily picked up gold onto the Azir. Meanwhile, Keyboarder somehow stays alive, finishing off Martimus. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we've got a dual Ignite used. No kills, though, going over. It's a 2-for-1 in the bot lane as Rift Herald gets placed down. Mitch, Flash, Shurima's shuffle available. The Emperor's Divide not going to really come out here just yet. Fluke trying to get a kill. It's an execute onto Erase. 2 more kills picked up for Tempest in the bot lane.
That's a disaster for Tempest. The execution for the Kaisa somehow was able to escape that. They got the Herald Crash gold through, as well as 3 kills, or 3 or 4 kills over for themselves. And that is going to be even more gold on the plate as well, just before they expire. So right now, Tempest opening up their gold lead to 3K here. Absolutely massive. That's what they had to do. And now, 204 Wukong, 202 Azir. They're feeling very well equipped for this mid game, and Akuma just couldn't quite control that dive. And I talked about that Kawambo combo of the Wukong Galio. Like, it was just instantly you're knocked up, you're CC'd, and you have nowhere to go, and that's exactly why they drafted it and why it was so effective.
Martimus now taking a quick visit up into the top lane, but Hans right now in a very rough position. I think I know I've seen it a few times, especially when I play Mundo, that kind of unspoken mental tilt of the accumulation of cleavers connecting. I think everyone has a certain breaking point, and Hans is slowly but surely making his way to that point.
Yeah, I definitely think at this point, this many cleavers to the face has got to be a little bit tilted. Ooh, you have to be careful here. No flame. Doesn't see the jungler. He might be done here.
The Prowler's Claw for the additional movement is not going to be enough there, Billabang. No flame is able to escape, but with turret plates gone, not going to be as much gold heading into the pocket, but it might mean Hans actually makes his way through this outer turret. It will be interesting to see. Moan actually delayed the Mundo back, and there's no teleport, so Hans has a lot of free time with this turret.
Yeah, they should easily be able to get this top turret without any contention. There's no plates left, so doesn't have that extra defense. And a little bit of a farm lead as well as the turret going down means that Renekton definitely very far ahead of the Mundo. But
Yeah.
it is kind of what we were expecting to start off this game. It is you're going into a Renekton lane, so you know you're most likely going to end up losing it. Only 1 kill conceded isn't too bad, though. Oh, this might be...
What?
Oh, no!
Mertimus with an insane interrupt! Potentially interrupts this gate, avoids the flash kick, is going to get hit by the Encore. Sonic Strike connects, and that's going to be enough for Vitalize to find his mark. The Ignite slowly burning away,
double.
and Akuma have miscalculated in the bot lane. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of Tempest.
Disaster after disaster for Akuma. This time they go for the dive in bot lane, and they can't even make it go in their favor. They lose 2 for just 1, and a kill over for Kaisa means the world in the ADC battle. Yes, a kill picked up as well on the other side, but it doesn't really matter when you're getting 2 for yourself. And again, it's just Akuma over pushing, not quite sure where the positioning is, and unfortunately, it was a little bit greedy for the Lee Sin to go in there. I think you could have just waited it out, had the minions crash, but wanted that kill coming through. And I see it's a little bit of that, not tilt factor, but like kind of feeling nervous, right? You know this Azir's 202, he's beating those items. You know the Kai'Sa is doing pretty well, so you're getting to a point where you got to start being able to survive these dives, make these team fights work, or you're going to be in a heap of trouble.
And I want to take a moment just to appreciate how kind of cracked it was for Mertimus to interrupt the Rakan flash engage.
That was
as the
very
dragon
impressive.
Has spawned. We've got another potential fight. Hans is
Azir.
making his way downtown.
There he
Here's Mitch, a
goes!
huge wombo combo into everyone. Isn't enough though. Hans
Wait, that's
is not
disaster.
here. Tempest
Oh,
are
this is so
trying
bad.
to take this fight, but they don't have the numbers, and it doesn't go their way, Billabang.
That is not the wombo combo we were looking for. That is the opposite. And unfortunately, it's all about the timing on that Xayah ult. Able to like root 3 of them, couldn't quite get those ults to come through at the perfect timing, and it meant they were able to survive. And that's the difference, right? You have this extremely high healing from the Rakan as well as a Seraphine, so you can keep yourself alive during that dive. You have the Xayah ult as well. It did end up going down anyway, Keyboarder, but was able to get that E through, root them all in place, and a lot of AoE came through, and really that was it. And that's what Akuma's ticket back into this game. They win the team fight, they get the dragon as well. It turns the tide of this game. Gold's still in Tempest favors, but definitely the tempo turning towards Akuma. Now, question is, how can they keep this momentum going?
Yeah, all aboard the momentum train, Billabang. Let's see how it goes. The second Rift Herald was, in fact, picked up by Moan. So, Tempest, Vipers, despite that fight not really going their way, they do have about a 3k gold lead here. But as you mentioned, I think glimpses from Akuma to maybe try and come back in this one. Heavy misexecution there from Tempest. Really good team fight idea. I wonder how big of a difference really Hans can make in a situation where if they're just a little bit more patient with the fight, let the Renekton get in there and potentially one-shot someone. As here we go, big Encore coming out. Hans, though, not able to get to the back of the line. There goes 0 croc difference. He gets sent back to base. No Flame, meanwhile, chasing down Moan. Akuma have exploded into this match. 2 fights in a row going their way.
It was an engage by the Renekton that just really didn't work. He didn't have all the pieces there, and unfortunately just a little bit too far forward from Artemis. Wanted to go for the engage as well. Didn't have the ultimate up, so couldn't pilot on top of the Renekton. It meant that you overstepped, and you didn't have the reinforcements to actually do the fight. They get mid-turret as well, and for Akuma, that's you're back in this game. You're feeling good, and that's a momentum train, Mac. That is going and moving, and nobody is being able to stop it right now. 3 minutes on the next dragon, so does have a little bit of time for Tempest to recover, but they got to get their composure back, or else this might just be a snowball they cannot stop.
Suddenly, the story of this game has quickly changed from Tempest Vipers up 8 kills to 2, has suddenly flipped into a 9 to 8 kill difference between the two teams now as we approach the 20-minute mark. Akuma taking two very good fights and catching Tempest off guard. This Akuma squad not simply rolling over. This is the playoffs, and they're not going down without a fight.
It is a long series, got 3 games, you got a lot of time to reset that mental, but if you're Tempest, you need to get your composure. I mean, it was a really good effort. You're renekton, right? You want to make those plays in the early game, but the problem was you just have to make sure you have your teammates around you. When they went for that team fight, I don't think they were expecting 4 people to be there for the reinforcement, and It was a level 8 recon, so definitely looked susceptible, but had the backup available, and this might be a dive. Fluke's got to be careful.
Fluke knocked up, taunted, Encore comes through, going to slow down Hans just a little bit, but the 1v3 is going to be enough, but
where are they going to go?
Here comes Ratchet. Meritimus trying to flash out, but walks right into Vitalize. Now it's a 2v3. Tempest, Vipers caught in a storm they do not want to be a part of. Hans taken down. It's a double kill for Vitalize.
And it's another overreach. I get the fact that you want to take out the Seraphine. The problem is you're going so deep into territory that you cannot travel. And now, 2v3.
Erase
That's
and
a lot
Mitch,
of damage.
They're trying to save this game. It's a 2v3. Look at Keyboarder deleting Mitch there. Shutdown goes over to Erase as Vitalize gets killed there. That's going to be enough to stop Baron.
And another 2 kills over for Akuma. They keep stacking up. They now have the kill lead. Doesn't have the gold lead just yet, but definitely a lot of, again, momentum just coming back in their favor. They're ramping up toward this later game. We talked about it. 2 items now completed for everybody on the side of Tempest. This is going to be the strongest they are at any point. And No Flame might be in a tough spot here. No, he has backup. It'll be okay, but this is the best time for them in this game. This is where they need to be winning these team fights, and they keep not only losing the team fights, they're not taking objectives or anything when they're forcing these either. So they're really just losing on both fronts. This dragon going to be super important. We see already TP expended just for the Seraphine to get to mid. See if they go for this fight.
Right now, item advantage slightly in the favor of Tempest, but as we mentioned earlier, Grievous Wounds going to play a big factor in this game. No Grievous Wounds picked up for Tempest just yet for this big dragon fight. Erase right now in the mid lane. Hans gets caught out really here, looking for a flank. Vitalize is going to take the Q. They found the engage. The start of the fight is now.
It's a huge charm.
Get the encore they've been looking for. Keyboarder with the first kill of the fight. Mitch uses the Emperor's Divide to try to save this fight, but look at the flash kick. Vitalize has found his target as Akuma Esports take over this game in the mid part of this match. Keyboarder on a rampage. Erase is going to try to come in here, but a 1v3 might just be too much for the Tempest ADC.
He has W up here. Might go for a snipe on the Lee Sin. If he can get the Lee Sin with a W, absolutely massive. Might be able to stop this dragon as well. That's going to be my question. Can Erase actually get this No Flame? Going to be on the backside as well. And now No Flame with 2 items is so strong in these team fights. And yes, you do have that wombo combo, but the problem is you don't have the damage to back it up right now. And every single time Tempest goes for these team fights, they just lose it. It was a really good engage by Rakan, able to catch out, and really good actually on the Lee Sin, able to find the flank from the renekton. Hans unfortunately just got caught out there in that back push. Really smart play by Vitalize, and it meant that although your whole plan for that wombo combo completely fell apart.
Right, and we saw the plan forming. Hans with really good position. Vitalize there. Man, I don't know if it's the blindfolds that are helping him see the map a little bit better, but he sniffed that one out perfectly. And now it's the Tempest Gaming Vipers very much behind in this game. Despite having the slight gold lead, it's going to be a bit tricky to turn around this momentum. Right now, Akuma Esports, 13 kills compared to only 4 from the Vipers in just the past little bit.
Definitely has been Akuma's game to lose lately. Still somehow have not actually gotten a gold lead in this game. Tempest has been holding on to that one for the entire time, despite losing all these team fights. But the important thing is they do have the skilling, they have the Kaisa Azir, so late game they do have those available. Mitch gonna have to be careful. Muno can actually run him down if he's not careful, and has backup coming as well.
No Flame top brain is caught in the midst of a 1v3. Is not going to get caught by the stun though, and burns the ultimate to just walk on out of there. You might just say he goes wherever he pleases on the map as Hans tries to use the ultimate, gets caught out here. The kick back, Hans, tough escape. Is he going to be able to get out? Vitalize the clean.
Ooh, that might be Baron.
Mechanics as Akuma make their way over to Baron Nash.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. It's a 4v5. You can come in. You still have the potential for the Wukong Galio combo. A big CC chain into that backline. You have your carries alive as well. So unfortunately, you don't have that Renekton for that engage, but you have the Galio. Only level 10 doesn't have that level 2 ultimate. You have the Wukong obviously as well. You got to keep your 2 carries alive. We'll see. It's all on Moan. He needs to get into that backline to land a huge ultimate here.
Ooh. Big taunt. Let's see the Emperor's Divide coming in as well. Keyboarder is going to avoid all the damage as the Akuma ADC is just fine. ADC face off. Keyboarder is going to come out on top with the shutdown. A triple kill as Akuma Esports get the ace and the Baron.
And again, they just keep rolling this momentum train forward. Another team fight win. Again, the top laner for Tempest caught out in the jungle, led to the Baron, led to a forced team fight. Now, Akuma picking up the Baron here, able to push forward in the mid lane. They're going to be able to get top tower. Not quite yet, but we'll be able to get that one in a second. And realistically, I mean, Tempest has just lost all the tempo they had in this game. And now it's all Akuma all the time. A Dragon up in 2 minutes as well. I mean, for me, I definitely think that Renekton just getting caught out here did so well in that early game to get himself ahead, but unfortunately, hasn't been able to find that backline entrance, and that really does make a huge difference. And even there, unfortunately, Moan didn't want to go for the team fight, but at that time, that is a perfect Renekton Wukong moment. If you can get that 5-man ult, unfortunately, just wasn't there in time, and it cost him the Baron, and might just cost him this Dragon as well.
Choo-choo! The Akuma train is absolutely rolling right now as they, pretty much everyone squatted up with Purple, Vitalize, and Keyboarder, notably with the Baron buff. I believe No Flame Top Brain has it as well right now in the bot lane, pushing on the side. Very important Dragon coming out as potentially in about a minute here, Akuma will find themselves with the Infernal Soul. No Flame just gonna back off away, but look at this little situation we've got here. How'd they know? There's a control ward in that bush. Oh my goodness, the whole team out of Vitalize is just spotting everybody out.
They just knew there's somebody sitting in that bush waiting for us. Luckily for Tempest, they are able to clear some of this vision, but they have to be careful because every time they walk up here, they're putting themselves in danger. Baron is still active for a little bit here, so Akuma still have that advantage. Infernal Soul available for them in 20 seconds. You have to find, again, it's team comp built all around this Wukong Galio. You have to find a really good engage here, but the problem is, look at the level difference between these two teams right now. Like, it is at least 2 or 3 levels between every single one of these players. It's got to be an amazing combo. It's got to be Kai'Sa absolutely popping off the fight. 3 items available, as well as a little bit of armor shred. So it's all going to be all about Kai'Sa. Can Erase find a way to actually win this team fight, or is it all going to end right here at this Dragon?
Veritimus right now thinking about a recall that probably won't happen. Infernal Soul is secured. Is Ratchet able to back off Erase? Wasn't even worried about the Dragon, trying to push in the mid-wave. Akuma get the Dragon, no problem. That is huge for them in securing victory here in Game 1.
For me, it's going to be so tough. You look at the level differences between them now. You look at even the item differences coming through the Amethyst. How do you say that? I can never quite get Anathemas. Thank you, Anathemas. Chains available. That's gonna be a kickback. This might be a chance. Oh, big charge!
Emperor's Divide. Let's see. Can Tempest turn this one around? But Vitalize off of a huge inset play there, sets his team up for success. Akuma Esports getting into the base. Keyboarder goes legendary. Moan is the next to fall. It's another ace as Akuma are looking to end Game 1.
And Akuma stomped their name into this game. It looked like from the 10-minute mark, Tempest just had no answer for them, and Akuma winning every team fight, every engage they had an answer for, and just steamrolling this game from what little lead they had. Excellent play all around, and they are going to go up 1-0 in this first game of the series.
Akuma Esports, what a bounce back. Billabang, on my end, it feels like we watched two different games there. There was the Tempest early game, and then Akuma got in their comfort zone and just started team fighting masterfully. I feel like everyone played their part to a T.
And I think the big thing was that you had to avoid those engages. We saw early on in the game, they got cut out by the early, really, really good combo from the Wukong Galio. But after that, it just seemed like Tempest could never really find that. They couldn't find a good engage for Moan at any point, and every single time they tried, I mean, all credit has to go to Hans there. He did try his best to try and find flank angles, try and get good engages, but didn't really have the team around him to equip him to actually be able to survive those engages, and he didn't have any follow-up. So Akuma just able to, with that healing from Seraphine and Rakan, with the counter engage as well, just really was able to kite out those fights decently well and then start winning them on the back end. And like you said, it felt like two different games. It felt like that early game was just so much in Tempest's favor, and then there was a flip that just switched and Akuma just ran away with the game.
A strong finish to game number one. Akuma hungry for a dub after going out of the winner's bracket in 0-2 fashion. They are back and ready to keep on looking for a finals berth here. Let's see if they'll be able to make it happen. One game at a time, right, Billabang?
One game at a time. That's loser's bracket mentality, one game at a time. And for Akuma, you finally were able to snap that 0-2 streak. And for Tempest, now is your time. This is your last chance to move forward in these playoffs. You got to find some kind of way back to get your mental in this series, because it's all on the line right now.
Yeah. We are going to hop into a quick break as we get geared up and ready to go for game number 2. Don't click out of that browser. Thursday night UAL action is going to be continuing in just a bit. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Unified live stream. We are continuing on our coverage of the UAL playoffs. My name is Mac Dewey. Still with me in the casting booth is my main man, Billabang, and boy, oh boy, what a crazy game number one we had to start off this series against Akuma Esports and Tempest Gaming.
It's so weird too, because I was thinking back and I'm like, they didn't even Akuma. They looked completely dominant throughout the last 20 minutes. They didn't even get a gold lead until there was like 2 minutes left in the game, and that like they won their second last team fight. So it was so weird to me because it's like you have this all this gold for the side of Tempest, but what are they doing with it? And essentially a lot of it on the Renekton, and unfortunately going down in several of those team fights, Hans just couldn't really get anything going, and all that gold that they funneled into him at the beginning of the game went to nothing. So I definitely think for me going into game number 2, Tempest got to retool that draft a little bit, maybe look for some more priority on the Seraphine, maybe not so much priority on that Renekton.
And to that point, Billabang, we saw constantly throughout the later stages of the early game and into the mid game, Tempest, it's not like they stopped trying to play aggressively. Maybe, in fact, they kind of started playing too aggressively to the point where Akuma was like, okay, guys, we think they're just going to keep on fighting us, so everyone be ready to rotate on some of these side lane dives and some of these side scuffles a little bit in the jungle. And constantly, it felt like Ratchet and Keyboarder were there on the Xayah Rakan to make big differences in a lot of these fights.
Yeah, especially the whole survive the dive thing. They did it so well, even though they lost that early game scuffle and they were able to unable to win that team fight. Didn't let him phase him, didn't let him bring him down. And then after that, they just were able to counter those engages, get themselves back on their feet, and really turn the game around. So definitely shout out to them in the bot lane. They did really well in game number 2. I mean, you could just slap down the same draft. I think you'd be very comfortable if you're the side of Akuma. For Tempest, again, you got to look towards... I like the Galio support pick with the Wukong. I think it was really good. I think the problem is with Renekton. I'm not a big Renekton fan. I don't like him in the state he's in right now. I don't think he's strong enough to be picked up in top. Even if you do get that early game advantage, I don't think he's that useful going later on in the game. I think maybe you look for a tank. I think if you had a better structured team fight, if you had some more damage maybe, instead of that Renekton, you already had the Wukong Galio. You had that engage. You didn't really need the Renekton in the top. Maybe go for something like Camille or a Gnar that provides you with some of that engage, but also has that late game power, has a lot of AD behind it, and isn't forced into that box of, okay, get early, get the Prowlers, try and make something happen, because you saw what happened when Hans tried to force early, and it was just disaster for Tempest.
Exactly. Yeah, that one fight in the jungle right after the drag fight not going their way, Hans tries to make a big play happen, and it blows up kind of in his face there a little bit. Now Tempest Gaming looking to try and turn not only this series around, but their season around, and it all comes down to this match. It is win or go home for the Tempest Vipers now, as we've made our way through the first couple bans. No new bans, Billabang, as Kha'Zix's Ribbon popping up on the board once again. Hans and Moan not getting their key comfort picks, not a chance. The Akshan, Rengar respectfully. Also, for the other side of Akuma, their mains respectfully banned away as well.
My question is going to be, does one of these teams look for the Lucian Nami? Wasn't present in the last game. We did see Tempest thinking about it, decided to actually move away from it, didn't want to go for it. So interesting to see, maybe they go for it this time. And it is a swap side, so it is going to be Akuma with the first pick here. We'll see, maybe they do again go for a jungle pick here. We saw Tempest Gaming super high priority on that Wukong. We'll see if maybe Akuma does the same thing. And we're going to see Lilia ban coming through here. So all the same bans as last game. So again, it is a swap side, so we are going to see something different most likely in the champion choices. But the question is, what does Tempest Gaming do to switch it up?
And what I do think Billabang could be very useful for them, as they like to play a little bit through their strong solo laners, having the red 5 pick is a solid option. But I see your face on my screen, Billabang. You're like, this is, how many times have I seen this? Blue 1 auto-locked. Seraphine does not pop up on the ban list. Tempest Gaming wants some more Seraphine.
I understand why you want to ban away the jungle picks, but Seraphine right now just so strong in the meta. It can be flexed to 3 different spots, and looks like maybe they're going to slam the same thing here. I mean, to be fair, it did work in the early game. I think, again, the Renekton pick was kind of the problem because you boxed yourself in. A couple bad engages by Hans, or just being caught out, really didn't allow them to get anything going. So you can go for the same picks here and maybe go for something. And you talked about the fact that now Tempest Gaming have that red 5, they have the counter pick available to them, means you can go for something else in the top lane. Kayn is going to be the pick, though. I like this. Kayn did get nerfed. Rost did get nerfed to 25% healing instead of 32%. Still, I think a very strong champion nonetheless.
Yeah, no, less healing, Billabang? What the heck? How is he going to be able to survive? No, I'm just playing. I wonder, even with Moan's playstyle, if we see an Assassin Kayn, that might be a little too crazy for UAL playoffs, but something to maybe consider. Now, Keyboarder does get his hands on a super comfort pick here on the Ezreal. Interesting switch, as it seems like Tempest Gaming still have a lot of dive elements to their first 2 picks. Ezreal, however, maybe the first or second best ADC at avoiding the dive, so not a horrible pick here for Keyboarder to kind of build off of his really solid Game 1 performance.
You got the Xin Zhao pick too, so a couple of new things coming through for Akuma here, and like you said, Ezreal, really good dodging away from the dive. I think similar to Xayah, has that escapability with his E, so definitely shouldn't be it should be the same kind of idea here. Xin Zhao pick. Lulu going to be the choice, though, coming through for the side of Tempest Gaming. No ADC choice just yet, but it does mean that Galio not going to be going towards the support, is going to be going towards mid, and I really did think this matchup is much better into the Seraphine. Gives you a lot more potential, especially with Kayn, to go for a dive. So I like this change-up from Tempest.
And now Akuma, I think Billabang have a really interesting predicament in front of them. Do you ban top laners, or do you limit the ADCs that they can pair with this Lulu?
I think you go for the ADCs here. I think, for me, Mac, I definitely think you want to try and take out a Kog'Maw for sure. Second one, there's a couple different choices. Maybe you could ban away the Kai'Sa. You could also ban away Xayah. Works well with Lulu as well. But definitely for me, Kog'Maw has to be taken away. That combo really, really strong. I think Twitch is going to be actually the one taken away here. So, I mean, I guess it's a good ADC with Lulu. Not the strongest one, but I definitely want to see, for me, a Kog'Maw for Akuma being taken away here.
Yeah, definitely. And I wonder, I talked a little bit before, no flame in the top lane for Akuma, a crazy wide champion pool, so really hard for Tempest Gaming to try and ban him out. And not only that, does making having such a big champ pool makes it difficult not only for No Flame to get banned out, but it also gives him a little bit more flexibility, I think, on this blue side of the map. In kind of terms, I think Red 5 is going to be the top lane choice for Tempest. So No Flame's going to have to pick blind, and I think he's going to have a lot of options.
Yeah, I think for me, you kind of give him that flexibility. I think especially the fact that you can flex. You haven't picked your mid or your jungle. You are going to have to pick something here. You are going to have to blind pick. And Akuma is most likely going to counter pick in one of these lanes. But you have that Red 5. You have that availability. You have a lot of options here for both of these teams. Lux and Zeri are going to be the 2 taken away from Akuma here. So Kog'Maw's still there, up and available. Could be potential. A lot of the only problem I do see. No, never mind. He's going to go for it. So, never mind. We get a Vayne.
You
okay.
Got my hopes up. Hyper gets me way too many times with these drafts. Oh my goodness. It's going to be a Vayne into the bot lane. Talk about hyper carries. Vayne's certainly one of them. Wow.
I definitely think not a bad choice here. I was going to say both of them are a little bit limited by their range. And now you get the Yuumi coming through with the Ezreal. This is going to be a super exciting bot lane to watch throughout this game, totally.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yes,
yeah,
it
we are going to get
is.
classic Ezreal Yumi. Again, it is just crazy amounts of healing from Akuma. You have to buy the Grievous Wounds early. We talked about last game. No Grievous Wounds were through by the halfway. Look at, you're going to add more with the Aatrox. So, I mean, Tempest Gaming, you need to buy
Healing!
Grievous Wounds literally, like, as soon as possible. Try and stop this, because there is just ridiculous amounts of healing coming out from AK.
No.
Like,
Not gonna fall
ridiculous.
for it again. It can't be
No.
in Kog'Maw here unless it's a Vayne solo lane. Then
Vayne top? It's possible, technically. I mean, no, it is
Yeah.
going to be the Camille.
Okay,
Thank you,
so
Hyper, for that
Camille
one.
for Tempest in the top lane. Hans with a swap that Billabang. This was what you were kind of hoping to see for this Tempest comp.
Yeah. Yeah, especially now, you don't have the Wukong available, but you do have the Camille, another really great combo with the Galio. As soon as you get that ult down for the Camille, you get the Galio ult on top of it as well. And again, just nowhere for you to move. And unlike the Wukong, which requires you to actually knock them up, Camille can just press R on you and you literally can't go anywhere. So Galio pretty much gets a free kill, especially with someone like Yumi. If you have a Yumi stuck on the Xin Zhao who gets isolated, they can both get eliminated very, very fast in a fight, and there's so much CC coming through. Even with the knockup from Kane, eventually, if he goes for that route, I think it's going to be very, very tough. The only struggle I do see with Tempest is their range. They lack the range in these team fights.
Big
the
time.
Ezreal
Big
Seraphine
time.
is going to be so strong in these team fights. So you have to be able to get an early engage. And again, on Tempest, you're drafting for this engage. You have to make sure it works, make sure these team fights are very well coordinated, because it's the only way you're going to win this game. Because if you even if you're playing around with objectives, you're going to get poked out by this Ezreal Seraphine. You're going to have a really tough time fighting for them.
And to kind of build on looking at what Tempest need to kind of do and maybe avoid as they go through this second match, this do or die match for this squad, Billabang, I like the swap of putting Mitch on the Galio, open him up to moving around the map, maybe getting, like we saw Tempest try to do in the later parts of game number 1. Looking for picks in the side lane is super easy when you have a Galio in mid lane instead of bot lane. He's going to be getting that XP earlier on, so it opens up some global plays earlier on for Tempest. So something to keep our eyes on as Akuma on the other side of this draft are rocking with, honestly, a pretty similar composition here to what they had in game 1, right?
My question is, are you going to look back on this series of your Tempest game and say, why did we not just ban out this Seraphine? Akuma getting it twice in a row, absolutely insane. And again, we talked about just the flexibility in draft meant that they could draft however they wanted, didn't really know where stuff was going until the very end. So you'll look back on it and say, okay, I think the Galio has a lot of potential with the Kane to get onto the Seraphine, but it is going to be very, very tough with the short range. And here we go, game number 2, do or die for Tempest. Vipers here down 0-1 in the series to Akuma. Akuma looking for some revenge after a loss in the upper bracket, trying to keep their run going here in the Unified Advanced League.
The playoff coverage continues on here as Akuma on the blue side of the map looking for an early ward. Get just that. A race, someone to keep a careful eye on for the side of the Tempest Vipers. Whenever we kind of see this composition with the Lulu, you got protection in the mid lane for the Vayne as well. You're putting your eggs in the Erase Vayne basket, hoping that he can make it through this Ezreal Yumi early game, which is not very existent, so does give Erase kind of an advantage, but you're still hoping that he is able to get to that late game hyper carry stage. That
Matt, can I draw your attention to the summoners for Tempest here? We got I've seen Ghost on a couple of junglers like Hecarim. I don't think I've ever seen a Ghost Kane.
Hell yeah. Oh my goodness.
I mean, for me,
I think
it's super strong. I think it's really strong summoner. Honestly, I think it's been very underused. I think it's similar to Exhaust in a way where people, I don't think, appreciated how much it does for you in a lot of these fights. You see Ezreal going for the Exhaust because it's that 30% damage reduction. It's absolutely massive. But
also,
I mean, for me, the problem is you want to have that flash if you want to go for a knock-up if you're Kane. So maybe he's going for blue.
Hey, he's totally fine going for Vitalizes red, as it maybe does get spotted out here by Fluke. We'll have to keep an eye on how Vitalize paths and how Moan paths as well. As what side of the map is Moan gonna go to? It looks like he might be going up to his red side to avoid letting Vitalize answer back.
Yeah, I don't think Vitalize realized that it was taken, so it will be triple buffs for this Kane to start off the game. Looks like Galio already roaming up towards top as well.
Look at this. I wonder if Mitch is going to be able to catch out the Xin here. Vitalize getting spotted out. Moan is on the same side of the map as well. Meanwhile, Erase gets taken down. First Blood goes over to Keyboarder. Martimus able to fight back, but now we get that aforementioned fight by the top side red buff. Moan getting low, but Mitch is here first. The Kane dealing a lot of damage. Luke coming back. That is a smite secure from Moan to get the red buff. Overall, 1-for-1 trade across the rift. Hans misses the hook shot. Can't quite land it, but Flash is expended. They're getting that jungler one way or another. Billabang is 2-for-1 now. Is the end of the story advantage for Tempest.
And now you look across the board, Tempest has used every single one of their summoners except for the TP on Camille. We look across the board, Seraphine has both of hers, as well as Aatrox having both of his. So a lot of early game action. 2 kills over for Tempest, just 1 back for Akuma. And I mean, if you're Zinzao, you have to go for that buff. You know that Kane is already there. Really good awareness by Galio, just being on top of them, making sure he was there to help out his jungler. And actually was able to keep farm pretty even, which was super important. But Mish has to be careful here. He could be caught out.
And looking at the aftermath of that play for the bot lane, Keyboarder, I think, makes out like a bandit on this Ezreal, getting quite a bit CS lead. But look at the bot lane of Tempest roaming up into the mid lane. Mitch is getting low. Mitch gets taken down, but Erase is able to answer back.
Hey, anytime you get a kill on Vayne, it's great for you. You definitely know you're going into that late game scaling, and a pick early has to feel good. Ezreal did get that one early in the 2v2 and bot, so evens it out in terms of golds. And I mean, for me, Vayne picking up 2 long swords here, just the tier for Ezreal, means the buy is actually better when they go back to lane. Still have the Vayne Lulu able to win team fights.
Yeah, slight experience lead for Keyboarder, but for ADCs, over the grand scheme of things, and especially on Ezreal, maybe not going to have too big of an impact as Hans tried to get this stinking wave underneath the turret. Vitalize, I don't think is going to be in a position to maybe look for the gank, but look at No Flame using that top brain of his, looking at freezing the wave there and setting himself up.
Gonna be forced to back. Does have TP, so won't cost Camille too much, as well as Sheen and a longsword. So feeling okay about that. Back is gonna lose a little bit of XP, but no big deal in top lane right now. Is gonna be a little bit quieter. We see junglers looking towards bot. Dragon is available here. We see some vision being set up. A couple of pink wards already for the side of Tempest. Don't want to allow Zinzao early access into that river. Blue look maybe towards mid lane, level 5 for both mid laners here, level 6 coming very, very soon. Talked about that combo of Kane and Galio being very strong. Definitely could be a potential here. But I think the struggle is going to be, again, you have the Ezreal Yumi bot. It is going to be a lot stronger for pushing.
Big damage in this top lane trade. No Flame finding the combo he's looking for. Ultimate's not available. Meanwhile, gank in the mid lane. Mitch has got Fluke caught in the taunt. Encore is now available. Moan and Mitch just going to back off away from Fluke there. Do successfully, though, burn away the flash.
Yeah, you see the thing was, a roam early from Martimus means Lulu only level 3, Vayne only level 4. They are completely under-leveled, and now Zinzao taking the dragon. They don't really have a choice. Kane top and an under-leveled bot lane means they have to give up that objective. So Vayne did get that early kill, but it did end up costing them about half a wave as well as this dragon. So bot lane, again, Akuma able to win that one. Nice E into the wall. Yumi should be able to get away here in just a second. But Galio's here as well.
Oh, the
Oh!
damage! Ratchet cannot survive. The cat gets caught
There's
out,
no
and
flash.
it's a
It was up.
double kill going over to Erase's Vayne. That's big.
And you get, yeah, you got the dragon, but at what cost for Akuma? It might be another gank in top lane here as well.
Ghost from the Kane. No Flame going to try to get some healing back. A lot of low health bars here. Hans is getting low. No Flame trying to make the fight work. Lives and is able to walk away.
They both walked away. Holy, I guess they just didn't want anything to do with each other. Obviously, when you're down that low, you want to get that last auto flash out. Didn't want to commit for it here. Ooh, is going to stay, though. Is it going to be enough? Oh!
The
no!
damage!
Oh, he does get it!
Flame! The brain is absolutely massive!
Oh,
as a
that's
shutdown
so
goes
bad.
over to Keyboarder in the bot lane. Akuma with 2 huge plays to get a little bit of an advantage. Moan is going to fall on the back end of this as well. 3 kills get given over to Akuma. Wow, that's big.
And just as Tempest started picking up their tempo, Akuma shuts him down. Another kill in bot lane in the 2v2 for the Ezreal Yuumi. Vayne overstepping gives a 600 gold shutdown as well. That is just disaster. Every time that they're finding this lead in bot, they're giving up just as quick. Got to be able to slow that train down. And now you see Ezreal going for a couple of items. Didn't have that first item come through just yet, but definitely looking pretty good here. Gold about even, which is super important. Dragon up in 3 minutes. And I mean, I want to talk about this for a second, Mac, while we're just waiting.
Let's do it.
What's your opinion on Yuumi as a champion?
From a design standpoint, I think across league, as it's gotten more and more, like, from a design standpoint, they're trying to create new experiences for players, which I think is really cool. Yuumi, I'm actually okay with. Overall,
Really?
I think there's a lot of, like, skill expression with jumping on and off with, like, the shielding. You can do that way. Who to jump on, making sure to not get caught out between jumping and stuff. I think it's interesting. Plus, like, you get a Yuumi on Udyr, and that's just a really fun time to run around and face slap everyone.
I agree with you to some degree. Obviously, I think the one time I think it is very strong, and I think might be a little OP, is in a team comp like this, right? Where you have Aatrox, you have Xin Zhao, you have Ezreal, who are all very slippery, very heal-centric champions who stacking someone on top of them and allowing them to. There's no mobility. You can just stay on top of them, give them healing constantly. With just having to press the E button, I think is very, very strong. Uh-oh. Ons might be in trouble.
Oh my gosh, no Flames Aatrox. I just get the feeling Billabang it's on another level right now. With the way he's comboing Hans in lane, I'm kind of scared for Tempest of that Aatrox in the top lane. Hans, meanwhile,
Hans
might
have
get caught
overstepped
out here. Gets spotted by the Scryer's Bloom and is going to be able to hookshot out of trouble. However, Vitalize has his sights set on something a little bit bigger than just a Camille. He's focusing down Rift Herald right now.
Both objectives in this early game going over to Akuma, and the key here, still no transformation for this Kane. It is still struggling to try and find the Rost. You think most likely probably going for Rost, the red form here. I don't think the blue form is going to be very viable. And for anybody who doesn't know,
he does
red
have serrated Dirk.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true actually. Uh-oh, Race might be in trouble again. Nice E.
The Condemn is clutch as a race is able to avoid getting taken down, but here's Mitch. This is what I was talking about during the draft. Let's get this Galio out on the map. Are they going to be able to make this dive work? You only got to worry about Keyboarder. There's the Ghost in Kane coming underneath the turret double taunt. Easy money for Tempest.
No,
but look at the turret damage.
Not
Ratchet ends up with
again.
the double kill. It's a 2 for 2. Tempest, what happened?
Game 1 all over again. They go for a dive to answer back, and it just turns to shambles and bot. 2 kills over. It did go to the Yuumi, so a little bit better than it going over to the ADC, but Hans is just dead.
No chance surviving that top dive. Vitalize pops down the Rift Herald as big gold is going into the pocket of No Flame.
Finally get some back for himself here. Should be able to get this turret as well. So a big influx of gold towards the Akuma top laner here. Plate's not down just yet either, so definitely going to be feeling good here. 610 gold as well as that caddy in the pocket, but second dragon of the game is going to go over to Tempest, so they'll even it up at 1 apiece. Question is now, I really think the Aatrox, oh, fluke, oh, big flash.
Not gonna get CC'd by anything hard just yet. Martimus slowing down the Seraphine though, gonna try to encore to survive. And that is going to be enough, Billabang, for the Akuma mid laner to escape. Meanwhile, Akuma always responding very well to the Tempest plays. When something's going over to Tempest in one lane, Akuma answer back. This time it's Keyboarder and Ratchet in the mid lane getting 2 turret plays.
Martimus, the big shield there off the screen, able to keep himself alive from that Ezreal ult in mid. Luckily, didn't go down there. First item completed. Now coming through, we see a couple of Gore Drinkers for the top jungle of Akuma. We see Essence Reaver and Bork for the ADCs.
Yeah.
Well, difference about 3k in Akuma's favor. We saw this last time, how they snowballed it so well. We'll see. Interesting to see if they go for it again this time, if they're able to keep that snowball going. Because that's the question, right? If you're Tempest last game, you just couldn't stop the Akuma train from rolling through. Can you find a way to do it in this game, or is this just going to be a 2-0 for the upper bracket losers?
Well, in this time, Akuma with a gold lead. Right now, it's a race taking on the No Flame. Can he take him down? Flash from the Aatrox. Q's gonna miss. Erase. Auto attacks aren't enough. And once again, Billabang, this Aatrox on another level right now. Popping off, having a big game too.
Ninja Tabby, super important in this game against the Camille, Kane, Vayne, and definitely helped No Flame out there. TP coming through for Camille. Try and match it here, but look at the plates coming through for this Ezreal Yuumi. Just gold in their back pocket, opening up that gold lead to now 3.5k here. Definitely looking good. Hans wants to go for this fight, but he's 2 levels down. This might be trouble.
Does have the Divine Sunder complete. That's going to be a big third Q connecting. No Flame trying to heal back the damage. Martimus not in a good position here as the hero. Mitch comes in. Moan take it down in the mid lane. No Flame falls in the bot tribe rush. It's a 1-for-1 trade across the map.
But they get mid turret. They get plates for Keyboarder, and now 126 farm, up 25, as well as a couple of assists. A lot of gold is being funneled towards this Akuma mid laner. Objective bounties already turned on for Tempest Vipers here early on in this game. Despite the scoreboard not showing it, there's just been Akuma with plays across the map. They got the Herald, they got that one dragon even and out, and I think definitely just playing the macro really, really well, able to play a tough vision game against Tempest, because Tempest just really hasn't been able to force themselves into these objectives. It's been kind of Akuma being able to shape how these team fights and these dives end up going.
Yeah, exactly. And now we enter the mid game. We've crossed the 15-minute mark. Now I'm ready to see the Akuma team fight take over. Are they going to have the same success here in game 2 from game number 1? Tempest, this time around, they were ahead in game 1 at the midway point. Now they're behind, facing the tough team fighting of Akuma. Executioner's Calling picked up. Hans getting that Grievous Wounds online a little bit earlier this time around. Same with Martimus getting the Oblivion Orb online. Next dragon spawning in about 90 seconds here. Right now, Erase is all alone on the top side of the map with no outer turret. Has to be a little careful not to get caught out here. Once again, though, these top laners are going to face off here in the river. Hookshot is going to connect. This time it's a 1v2 as the World Ender comes out. Hextech Ultimatum going to keep No Flame slowed down. Polymorph is going to be enough. Ultimate comes through. Moan helping out a little bit. Hans gets the kill.
And stacks for the Kane, I was going to say, still has not transformed into blue or red just yet. So still waiting for that one to come through eventually. And at 60 minutes, you would expect, ooh, a race. Gonna get rooted up. Oh, nice cleanse.
And the Condemn coming out. A race makes it look a little too easy getting out of that dive. As Akuma gonna be forced to back off. Rift Herald spawning just now in the Dragon in 30.
Yeah, it looks like it is gonna be a split call here. Interestingly enough, the reset comes through for Aatrox, so we'll head towards that Dragon. Looks like Vayne content to just farm top, so I think most likely Tempest might give this dragon away if Vayne is not going to be at that fight. You see everybody from Akuma got the resets through, looking for that dragon up in 10 seconds. I think Tempest just happy to let Vayne farm a little bit more, maybe get that top turret, maybe even look towards this Herald. But Cayman on bot side definitely doesn't look like they're going to answer back, and looks like it might just be a free dragon for Akuma.
Akuma, more than happy to take this, as you were talking about, a race on the top side of the map. Knows now that Akuma is on the objective. Teleport is going to come out as Fluke sees the split push and is going to try to limit Erase's impact here. It's a little bit of damage. It is a 1v2. Make that a 1v3. Make that a 1v4. Potentially Fluke is getting a little bit more than he bargained for here as Mitch is in position, as well as Moan. Billabang, this is looking rough. Another teleport coming in to maybe make it a 2v4. Look at the squad. The freaking goon squad there. Just going to back off away from the dive. This keyboarder in the mid lane, hammering away at this turret, and it feels like again and again Akuma getting the advantage on these cross-map plays, but now it's the Hextech Ultimatum coming out with the heroic entrance, the combo that Billabang's been talking about this whole time, baby! Works to perfection as Hans gets a double.
That's the perfect use of that combo right there. You saw, you locked up the Ezreal. Yuumi couldn't get off in time, had no one to go to. Big shutdown over, and now you see the Chemtech sword completed here for the Camille. Nerd just so effective against this team full of healing, and definitely helped out in that fight. And now Tempest looking a lot better in this game number 2, looking a lot more composed in not allowing the snowball that Akuma picked up last game to continue on here, evening up the gold, and looking pretty good. Objectives are Herald still up for another minute and a half here. I definitely would like to see them go for this one. Now, I don't know if Kayn has transformed just yet. No, he's still in human form. So, I mean, if you're Kayn here for Moan, you have to try and get that transformation coming through, even if it's blue form or red form, whatever you're going to go towards. When you're reaching that 20-minute mark and you haven't transformed yet, it's definitely a problem.
Yeah, right. It's like a Spica first game type game.
Yeah.
Coming through. Next dragon up in 3 minutes. No second item completions outside of Hans getting a big discount. You're talking about smart purchasing there. Gets the big Punk sword there for what is kind of a discount there.
Insane value. Yeah. Well, in this game too, the fact that you're like, it is such a cheap item, and arguably everybody on the side of Akuma is healing based in a way. I guess I saw it Ezreal. It is so effective against this team, and now it looks like they are going to collapse here. Han's going to have to be careful, but he's going to be able to back off.
And Tempest still going for kind of this dive style composition with the Galio, with the Camille, but because they don't have the Kai'Sa ADC, instead of it's a hyper carry Vayne, maybe gives them a little bit of ease of execution. They don't feel so dedicated to the dive. Billabang, as you pointed out, they're staying a bit more composed here as we see Akuma popping down the Rift Herald. Mertimus gets super low. The side lanes, recalling. Erase and Hans are trying to get back to base as quickly as possible as Shelly's going to open up this inhibitor turret, and the inhibitor in the mid lane might fall as well. Akuma opt for the big priority investment in pressure. Right now in this game, they're going to open up the base.
So it is a very hot topic in the League community about whether or not you get a lot of value out of taking an inhibitor early, because now you see, despite the fact that, yes, you do have that pressure from mid lane throughout a lot of the game, you are going to be funneling in those super minions, but they're going to take Baron here. I don't know about this one.
It's spotted out by the Scryer's orb. Rost is online. Moan has transformed. There's a lot of healing between the Yuumi and the Seraphine. No Flame looks for an Infernal Chain engage, but can't quite find it, and Akuma are forced off a Baron.
Yeah, I think they just kind of baited Baron there. I don't think they were going to really commit to it. They just wanted to see if the team fight would come through from Tempest. Tempest says, nah, we're okay. We're not going to go for it. So we'll just be mid inhib going down. And I mean, realistically too, for Tempest, you have Vayne, so you can shred through those mid super minions very easily, funnel some extra gold into this Vayne. And I think obviously this next dragon up in 45 seconds is going to be tough to try and contest with mid priority in Akuma's favor. But if you are able to take down this super minion right here beside Ezreal, I think you can actually go for a fight there at the dragon and maybe actually, contest it, because you have to be careful. If that mid minion keeps pushing, you get a TP at a Seraphine and Aatrox, you might lose a Nexus turret or two.
Yeah, right, no kidding. Dragon spawning up here. Akuma once again looking to put themselves in a position to get the Dragon Soul. Huge for moving on into the next round of playoffs potentially. Akuma up 1-0. Tempest Vipers do or die. They're not going to take this dragon fight. It's not the soul up for grabs just yet. Go ahead, give over the objective. Don't lose too much if you're Tempest. Meanwhile, Hans, getting quite a bit of gold on the top side of the map, is able to respond just like we've seen Akuma respond throughout this game by split pushing.
And I think for me too, Camille and Vayne, that's going to be straight skilling. The later on this game goes, the stronger those two characters are going to be. Looks like they're going to go for Baron. There's nobody around to actually contest this, and they don't have any vision on it, so they might be dead in the water here. I don't even know if Akuma's going to be able to get to this in time.
True Shot Barrage spots this one out. Erase has used the final hour to try to melt down this objective, and it's secured. Tempest get the Baron, but here comes the re-engage. Akuma are going to try to stop the backs. One recall goes off. Hans is out, has teleport available. No Flame can't catch anyone. Tempest get the objective and escape.
Like double TP into mid here, but for what? All the backs have already come through. You're not catching anything with this. Maybe you try and get a Nexus, but that's 2 TPs just wasted. I really don't. I don't know. That was an instant TP by the Seraphine Aatrox, but at that point the backs already came through. Baron is available as well. They're going for an end here when there's Baron available on everyone from Tempest. Akuma has to be really careful how they play this one out.
We talked about this in draft. Tempest, they do not have a lot of range, not a lot of wave clear, but they can team fight like hell with this composition. And just like you were talking about, Akuma have to be careful. They're just going to back off. That play kind of goes wrong, and a big Baron Nashor goes over to Tempest with their back up against the wall. Billabang, they respond with a super gutsy call, and it goes pretty much perfectly.
Yeah, the fact they were able to get there, not only do they get the Baron, but they also were able to escape and get back in time. And Akuma wasting 2 TPs, I mean, I like the idea. Obviously, you have that super roaming down mid, but the problem is you have the 4-second recalls on those Barons. So the fact that Kane able to stick that recall, able to get back and clear up those minions, or at least delay them a little bit, means that they can't even get a Nexus turret out of it. And yes, TP's going to be back up by the time this next dragon spawns, but it is a resource that you don't have available here for the next couple minutes, especially in just trying to, get early vision in that bottom jungle so you can make it to this dragon. Obviously, with Dragon Soul on the table for Akuma, Tempest has to fight it. They're not going to have Baron up for the fight, but definitely is going to delay a lot of what Akuma wants to set up just for it, and actually might go for a play here on a no flame.
No Flame just gets deleted by the damage there from Hans. Half of his HP disappeared. Meanwhile, Ghost going to be used, as you spotted out, Billabang, that extra move speed, that's enough, and hey, you don't have to burn as big of a cooldown as Flash is.
True. Now you see Engager in mid. Look at that damage coming through from the Galio. Has the needlessly large rod. 8 stacks on that Dark Seal. And Mish, not just a CC machine, going to be doing a lot of damage in these fights as well. And not a lot of magic resist. Actually, I don't think any magic resist from anybody on the side of Akuma. So Mish is going to be doing a lot of damage in these fights. Something else to watch out for when they go for this dragon in about a minute and a half.
That is our next big objective for game number 2. The potential Dragon Soul going over to Akuma Esports. Tempest trying to keep their season alive. Mitch has been such a rock for this squad throughout the season. Hans as well. The star solo laners coming up big here in game number 2. Hans having a really solid Camille game. Has 3 items now online. Mitch as well, as you were mentioning, quite a few Dark Seal stacks now. Tempest pushing into the mid lane, trying to set themselves up to get vision control here in River before the objective.
And look at all the Grievous wounds bought for Tempest. You have it on 3 different champions. Should be enough to cover just about everybody on Akuma
Right.
there, I definitely think. And now we see 30 seconds left. They have to try and get some vision here for it. A lot of long range for Akuma is going to help them out a lot, trying to poke out these bushes, make sure there's no surprises coming through at them here, but they don't have a ward in that bush. No Flame, going to have to be careful here. It's going to be okay. And again, like I talked about, Tempest, you have to take this fight early because you don't have the range available. You're going to get poked out quite heavily in these team fights, and it has to be instant deaths because they have so much healing for Akuma.
Looking for the instant engage. Hans is going in. There's the hero's entrance as well. 3 knockups. Mitch gets a huge engage. Vitalize trying to stay alive. Galio taking up so much damage. Look at the back line. Akuma's getting real low. They're going to try to kite back here. A lot of damage. No Flame. Able to get 1 kill. There's a second. Here we go. Akuma, stay alive and kite it out. They get a 4-for-1 as they somehow survive.
No Flame, top brain, does everything he needs to in that fight. Able to survive the onslaught of damage, able to get that 1 auto win and heal for so much. Oh, Artemis! Able to escape for a second, but I don't think it matters. I think they can just end the game off this wave.
20-second death timers, regular minion waves. Meritimus, the only one potentially saving the Tempest season. Buckle up, Billabang. Here we go. It's the potential end of the match as Meritimus trying to ignoring the wave. Can't do it. Mitch is coming up in 2, 1. Mitch is back. The maybe hero Tempest needs a big taunt coming up. Here we go. Tempest trying to hang on to the base, trying to hang on to their season. They succeed. It's Ratchet dying. Akuma can't end the game.
1 auto attack just would have done it. They weren't able to get it through, and Xin Zhao the only one left here. He might go for this Ocean, but I mean, lots of turrets left for the side of Akuma, so they most likely won't lose the game off of this play, but gonna have to be careful here how he plays this one out. It's gonna be a big Q. That's gonna be a dead Xin Zhao.
And Baron is up as well. This could be a 2-for-1 for Tempest to try and turn this game on its head.
Wait, did Lulu sweep it out?
Billabang, there's a ward by the Nexus. We think it's survived. There's a TP coming in. Fluke is going to try to end this game. Teleports in response. Fluke
there's the second
running
one
towards the Nexus. No Flame, top brain is coming in as well. Try to use that brain of his. Encore comes in, huge damage. Fluke staying alive. No Flame runs to the Nexus. It's the world ender to end Tempest Viper's world with the condemn. He's knocked away from the Nexus.
Oh
my
goodness.
No Flame is taken down as Tempest. Their world is not, but the Baron doesn't go over to Tempest. Oh my God, Billabang, what is this match?
I don't know. This is literally Tempest's entire season coming down to a couple of auto attacks on the Nexus, not once, but twice. Twice Akuma came knocking on the door, and twice Tempest shut them down. That's going to be an engage here as well. That's a dead Ezreal.
You cannot step up to the Hextech ultimatum. Ratchet's gonna try to get out of here. No ultimate. Wind becomes lightning, and Vitalize says, see you later. Hans is gonna try to chase him down, as what a chaotic past few minutes we have had, and it's not gonna stop here. Hans looking for yet another kill, but Vitalize, once again, wind becomes lightning. You blink, you might have missed it.
My
Here's
goodness.
the hook shot. Hans's aggression knows no limits. He's looking to keep going in the fight. A race is joining him as well. But look at the numbers. Akuma is responding back. Hans potentially got out. Wild growth out of there. Plus the move speed. Meritimus, is there enough for you as well? The charm connects there onto Hans as well. Vitalize running in, trying to turn this one around. He's somehow back up to full HP, as this fight is just not stopping. Look at the death timers. It's only Meritimus's Lulu, as I don't think Akuma can look to end here.
Hans is just being shoved away from the Nexus, but you see that they're looking for any kind of opportunity they can get towards that open Nexus, but they haven't been able to find it just yet. Baron is still up on Yuumi, so that's the only one left on the map to try and push forward and try and take down this Nexus. Moan just sitting here waiting in the wings, trying to find an opportunity, but this open Nexus looks so inviting. Akuma, like, look at this fight. This is such a huge flank for Caitlyn.
A big flank, but look at the base. The gates are opening up. The Nestix is exposed. Here we go. Tempest looking for the engage. They take down Fluke instantly. Who is going to fall next? Look at the health bar of Erase. The Vayne is healthy, and he's got a double kill. This is the Tempest Vipers hanging on for dear life. Their season is staying alive as Keyboarder forced to back away.
Is able to escape here for a second, and again, the problem is there's no map control at all for Tempest right now. They have an open Nexus, and they have no mid tower down just yet. Mid tier 1 is still up 32 minutes into this game. Will go down here in just a second, but you see, even though Tempest are finding the kills, they're finding these teamfight wins, they can't really turn to objectives. They weren't able to secure that Baron either. 3 down though. Keyboarder might step too far. No, he's gonna be able to get away.
Erase has entered 4-item god mode on this Vayne pick. Next dragon spawns up in a minute 15 as Billabang, I feel like this game is not only going to come down to the wire, but probably take a few years off our life, as this is crazy close.
It's already taken a couple at least from those Nexus pushes, and Inhibitor gonna come up here, so now Tempest can breathe a small sigh of relief. They don't have the super minions pushing through to the Nexus just yet, but 49 seconds on this Dragon. Not a lot of vision for either team's put down here. We see a nice ward in the jungle for Tempest, able to spot out a couple members coming through here on the top half. You see there is a pink here for them as well in their own jungle. Aren't going to be spotted out quite yet, moving towards that Dragon. Both teams preparing for this potential soul for Akuma. This team fight most likely is going to decide this game.
Big breaths for both of these squads. Once again, we were just here
we
with
go.
the last Dragon.
He's dead.
Big fight coming in.
Oh, he's
Look
not.
at the health bars. Keyboarder
dead.
is healthy. Erase as well. It's a battle against the carries. Erase looking to come up huge. Mitch zoning away the damage dealers.
Not
It's
a
Tempest
chance.
Vipers coming up on top. Erase stays alive. Keyboarder, there's no buttons left you can press to come out on top. Tempest, get the ace.
And we were talking about this late game Camille Vayne combo. So much true damage. It doesn't matter how much tank you have. They will shred right through it. They built all the anti-heal, so it doesn't matter how much healing you have. They'll shred right through that too, and they will come right back in this series. Absolutely beautiful stuff from them. Stopping an open Nexus, turning the game around and winning it. That's a banger game too, and I can't wait to see what Game 3 has in store for us.
League of Legends does not get better than that, Summoners. Tempest Gaming, this Viper squad, Billabang, showing us just what it means to never stop playing the game. It's not over till the Nexus explodes, and they succeed in blowing up the Akuma Nexus, sending us to a Game 3 and keeping their playoff hopes alive.
I can't believe an open Nexus. They were able to stop it not once, but twice from ending the game. And then after that, you got your Vayne finally on that 4-item spike. Nobody is able to kill her in those team fights. And it just means finally Keyboard wasn't enough with that Ezreal. You just wasn't doing that kind of damage to try and carry those team fights. And Tempest Gaming finally having an answer, finally winning some of these team fights made such a huge difference in this game. And I mean, the craziness from that Baron that was stolen by Akuma, like the game almost ended 3 different times. I mean, that game 2 was insane. I don't know what this game 3 is going to bring, but I hope it's just as good as that one was.
Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for all tuning into this stream. That was one of the crazier games of League of Legends that I've seen overall across the past couple weeks doing casts here on the Unified channel. Billabang, I don't know about you, but I feel like this is the home for crazy League of Legends games.
This is insane.
Does it get any closer than this? I think not. As we get geared up and ready to go for game number 3, we're going to take a short break. Don't click out of that browser just yet. We'll be back with some more League of Legends action coming your way. and welcome back to the Unified live stream as we are continuing on our coverage here of the UAL playoffs lower bracket matchup between Akuma Esports and the Tempest Gaming Vipers. My name is Mac Dewey, still with me after that ridiculous second match pushing us to a final Game 3 decider is my main man, Billabang. How are you feeling headed into our last match of the night?
I'm feeling like I'm about 55 years old at this point with the amount of stress that Akuma just dropped on me. I know Hyper back there is tilted watching this. I can't believe what I can't think what the coach is thinking right now for Akuma, because you got to be losing your mind. Twice they had chances to end that game and they decided to fight instead of just autoing the Nexus. Like that's the most important thing in the game, is just destroy the Nexus. But regardless, we're gonna have to see how they bounce back, because for me, I think they had a really solid game and everything was going great for them. They're winning these team fights consistently. There's a couple small mistakes they're making, but overall are just winning the game. And then it just, after that, I feel like they just snapped. Like these team fights went completely in the wrong direction. Not even they're finding make one maybe kill in these team fights. It's not enough. And now you're going on to game number 3. What do you do to recover if you're Akuma?
For us here in the casting booth, it feels like through just 2 matches, we've really seen 4 matches. We've seen Tempest win the early game and Akuma win team fights. And now we've seen Akuma win the early game and then Tempest somehow survive and start winning team fights with their scaling composition. So what's going to happen in game number 3? We have no idea, but let's get started with the draft. Who are we going to see pop up in the bans? Is Seraphine finally going to get taken off of the board? Zeri has been suspiciously making their way through.
I think it's going to be the same bands. I think we're going to get probably close to a mirror matchup, if not the same mirror matchup. I think we're going to get another swap in bot. Honestly, I think if anything, that's where it's going to change. But I'm expecting the same bands. I think, again, they're going to leave Seraphine. Akuma's going to take it. And you can put the Galio back there, because I think it was a really good answer into the Seraphine, because it provided a lot more in the early game for those engages that you wanted. And I think Akuma is comfortable on that Seraphine, gives them what they need from Fluke. So for me, I think just run it back, because that's about as even of a game as you could possibly get.
And to kind of build on that point, looking at where Tempest succeeded in that draft, yes, the Galio super strong, but you talked about this combo during the game and during draft as well. The Camille Galio combo, the Hextech Ultimatum plus the Hero's Entrance did work against Akuma throughout the game, and so it's something that our Tempest going to be able to kind of re-spark that beautiful synergy in this draft, because replicating draft success can be somewhat tricky throughout the season, especially when Akuma maybe throws something at you that you aren't expecting. Same bands though, as Bill Bang predicted. Rengar and Akshan taken off the board away from Akuma once again, and Riven popping up as well.
I'll be interested to see if they go back to the Wukong for Tempest. I think the Kayn didn't really have too much of an impact on that game, if I'm going to be honest. I think wasn't really a factor. Didn't even get transformation until like 20 minutes. So I definitely think for me, Tempest Gaming, maybe look towards something else for your jungler here. Maybe look for Moan to go back onto the Wukong. I think he looked really good, especially early on in that game number 1 on the pick. So I think for me, that is going to be, now that you have first pick, again, you have that available if it doesn't get banned away. So definitely would be something I'd be interested in seeing. We're going to see the Kindred ban yet again here. So I'm expecting, most likely, we're going to see same picks and bans as game 1, at least for phase number 1, in my opinion.
I wonder if Akuma feel bold enough, Billabang, to not ban the Seraphine on red side. Are they going to call the Tempest bluff that they're not going to pick at blue one? We'll have to see. Lilia, once again, taken off the board, and there we go! The bluff has been bought, and Seraphine is locked in for Tempest this time around.
Yeah, they definitely realize our priority on that champion. We'll see. Maybe Akuma picks up the Galio as an answer. Maybe they have something else in mind altogether. We've seen a couple different things work into it. Again, it is kind of just like a heal bot mid lane. You're kind of just saying, okay, it's going to be a little bit of damage, some healing later on in the game. The Swain picked up, though. Yes. Thank you, Akuma. The Swain, such a good pick right now. And into the Seraphine, doesn't have a ton of mobility, really effective in the mid as a counter pick. I love this from Akuma. I think it's a really good answer.
And the combo is to go Rylai's with Imperial Mandate, right? So
Yeah.
you apply the slow with the Mandate on pretty much as anyone, whoever is in the Swain circle is going to be getting potentially melted down as Vitalize gets a huge power pick with this Viego.
Yeah, I think the Viego coming through. I expect the Wukong for the side of Tempest Gaming here as an answer back. Viego, obviously, we talked about it earlier. Viego and Wukong, probably the two best junglers left on the table right now for these teams. So that's what I'm expecting them to go with here. The third pick, though, is going to be very interesting. Swain, especially for Akuma, is a flex pick. It can go top, it can go mid, it can go bot, it can go support, it can go pretty much anywhere except for the jungle. So a lot of flexibility, as well as a Seraphine, like we talked about, mid, support, and bot as well. Karma, another flex pick for Tempest here, can flex to basically 4 positions. So a lot of moving pieces in these drafts. Going to be interesting to see where they end up landing.
And now Tempest with a tricky decision here. What lane do they go ahead and lock in? I think the jungle.
Ooh.
I think that might be a Talon jungle for Moan.
Wow.
So much for Wukong, right?
It's interesting. I like the Talon jungle. I think with the buffs on assassin items, it can be very useful, and especially in the Viego, early Viego does tend to struggle until he gets that Divine Sunder online in fighting other junglers. So I think interesting choice here very early in the draft. A Blitzcrank for Akuma here. I have no idea what's going on in this draft. I'm going to be honest. Like, this is literally 5 out of 6 people we haven't even seen throughout any of these champ selects.
So much for running back any of the previous drafts from our first 2 games in this series. Blitzcrank locked in for Ratchet. He's been playing some more aggressive champions throughout the regular season, locking in things like Leona to help the team engage, and now Blitzcrank to counteract all those enchantresses on the side of Tempest Gaming. Seems like a sound concept to me. I like where Akuma's head's at.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a good choice here. A lot of squishies for Tempest Gaming in this draft, so a lot of hook opportunity for Ratchet here. Ban on Vayne coming through for Akuma. Didn't like that choice for them here. It is going to be Callista taken away for Tempest Gaming. So interesting to see what they go for here in the bans. You can go for a couple more ADC bans. Most likely, I think maybe Azaya going to be taken away here. I think, again, it is a really good answer into the Blitzcrank's Swain. Yeah. Maybe even a Kaisa as well, getting thrown in the ban phase. I really, like I said, this draft completely new. All these champions completely new. So Camille actually is going to be taken away. Interesting choice there. I don't know how well it worked in team comp, but at this point, you're kind of just banning champs based on what they played last game.
Right, and it's tricky here for Akuma, right? Because they're like, okay, let's take away the Vayne, but what if it's Seraphine Karma bot, and we're just throwing empty bans into the ADC pool? So they do limit Hans's strong pick from the last game, because Galio was still open maybe for the mid lane. Again, Philippe, you talked about it earlier, so much flexibility from the side of Tempest makes it hard not only for us here in the booth, but also for Akuma to figure out where this draft of Tempest is heading, because they have to lock in 4 champions here before Tempest finishes up their composition. Keyboarder, a tricky decision here to figure out what Akuma is going to throw into the comp here. It's Twitch for the Akuma ADC.
Twitch, pretty strong pick over the last couple of patches, usually paired with an enchanter, something like Yumi, but this time around is going to be with that Blitzcrank. I definitely think for me it'll be an interesting pick in the bot lane. With the healing coming through and shielding for the Karma Seraphine, I don't know how effective it's going to be. You have the W slow to help you with the Blitzcrank hooks. Cassio going to be the pick for Tempest Gaming. This draft is going absolutely nowhere anywhere like I thought it was going to. So Cassio, I guess technically is a flex pick in a way. Can't go top mid. Most likely is going to be mid though, which means Talon probably going to be jungle. Most likely means Seraphine Karma is going to be in the bot. I guess we'll see here in 5 seconds with this last pick what it's going to be. I have no idea where it's going to go. It's going to be Wukong top?
Maybe?
Cassio
Looks
top?
like who?
Okay. I think Cassio top.
Tempest Gaming, we're
really
fine with just figuring out where everyone was going after Akuma locks in their red 5 pick here. For Akuma, at least, we know this is going to be a top lane champion.
Yeah.
Or No Flame to try to come back. I'm not going to take that. Okay, there we go. Gragas is something that I could see being very good into the Cass and the Seraphine.
Yeah.
Little tricky into the Wukong Talon. This is a spicy game 3 that we get to end our Thursday night, Billabang.
Yeah, I think for me, Blitzcrank is going to be huge in this one. You have a lot of squishies from the side of Tempest Gaming. It's going to be up to Raj to make a difference in the early game. Team fight wise, I think you have that go button. You have a Talon, Wukong for Tempest Gaming. You have the Seraphine Karma to keep them alive in that team fight. It's going to be up to Mish, though. That's going to be the big question mark. Mish going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting as the extended damage in these team fights, especially because it is so short range. And for the side of Akuma, you have a lot of AoE availability here. You have a lot of team fight prowess. And you, as long as you can get into Tempest Gaming's backline, if you can get towards Erase and Martimus, I think you have a really good chance of winning team fights. I just think both of these teams right now, it's a completely different game than game number 1 and 2 are. It really is up in the air. And I can't pick a team here that's going to win. I think game number 3 is going to be a big mess, to be honest.
Well, Billabang, Tempest Gaming ended up here in the losers bracket after losing 2 game 3s in a row to finish the season in 3rd place. Now it's another game 3 facing against them. Now's the time where we're going to find out, can Tempest Gaming break the game 3 curse that's been held over them throughout the UAL regular season? Can they break it here in playoffs, or is Akuma going to send them home? Let's see. Really, really crazy game here. We're going to hop into a quick break as we get ready and geared up to go for game number 3. Don't click out of that browser just yet. We've got the final match in just a sec. Yo, summoners, welcome onto the Rift for game number 3. It's Tempest Gaming Viper Squad going up against Akuma Esports in this win or go home matchup here in the UAL playoffs. My name's Mac Dewey. Still with me for this final match is my main man, Billabang. Who do we got to keep our eyes on in this game 3?
Just about everybody in this game, and we're gonna get a pause. Woo! So, welcome back. How y'all doing? This game number 3, like you said, it is lower bracket, all on the line here. Both these teams fighting for their playoff lives to continue. And I mean, for me, I look at this draft, it's all over the place, but my big thing is you are picking a blitzcrank, which means you have to be proactive early. You have to try and find some picks. You have a little bit of CC with Viego and with Twitch, but overall, definitely have to watch this blitzcrank, see where he goes, see where he roams. That is going to be very important in this matchup. So all eyes on Ratchet for me in this early game.
Well, Billabang, building on your point about how Ratchet needs to play proactively, he's brought Predator as his keystone in for this game as well as Ignite, so I think he's got the right idea that you were putting down. I think we might see this Blitzcrank put his metal foot on the gas pedal.
Picks up 10 gold for the Swain. Always feels good to a little bit of extra XP, a little bit of extra gold early in the game.
Oh, he gets the... this is like the Nuke Duck strat or whatever, right? He gets XP for that, so we'll get level 2 in mid lane first off of the first wave?
Yeah, he'll get it 1 minion sooner. But I mean, Sarah, you're playing Swain Cassio, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Looks like Han's going to challenge us Gragas here. I don't think he wins this trade, actually.
These guys are going to get trade back and forth. No Flame gets a grass proc. Hans zoning the big man away from the first wave a little bit. As the tension, I feel it in this game. Akuma wanting to answer back after having the taste of victory so close to them. 1 or 2 auto attacks away, and Tempest, who once again are playing with their backs up against the wall. The early game, funny enough, Billabang, throughout this series, has not correlated to the victor whatsoever. Both times, whoever was losing in the early game ended up coming back.
Yeah, it's all about sticking it out, being able to keep that momentum going, and both times teams just couldn't do it. Nice hook to start us off, but it's under turret, so I don't know if that Ignite's really going to be that useful.
Big damage there onto a race. Ratchet getting the old right arm warmed up here in the big final match. Doesn't burn any summoner spells outside of the Blitzcrank Ignite, so gonna have to keep a close watch on that. If Ratchet is able to make any plays with the flash, may have to be on a low health target, or as you mentioned, farther away from the turret, as Erase and Merdimus right now sitting very comfortably close to their turret.
Viego looking for an early gank here. Vitalize wants to capitalize on this Blitzcrank pick, but did he get spotted out in the tri-bush? Is forced to back away here. Uh-oh.
Flash is all over the map. Hans getting real low. Moan is there to back up Hans. Big play. Do want to note, Billabang, Ratchet burned his flash looking for a play with Vitalize's Viego down on the bottom side of the map. The vision has been cleared out. We see Vitalize looking for Krugs or something. Might make a return effort as Ratchet once again pushing up, looking for a hook. Does find it. Vitalize by the Krugs, not in position quite just yet. Keyboarder getting low. Wow. The Ignite onto the Twitch flash from Vitalize. Shields galore, keeping Erase healthy. Merdimus keeping his ADC alive.
That's the power of the Seraphine Karma. So much shielding and healing in that fight. All they had to burn was a flash. TP up for Seraphine as well. Can come right back to lane. Can shove this forward. Twitch not going to be able to catch any of this wave. And now you see the power of this Seraphine in the bot lane. Healing as well as the Karma. The heal shield. Keeping them alive in that gank. Burning all the summoners for Akuma. And able to stay alive. Absolutely huge. And you got to look forward in this game too. Yes, you do have the Twitch. You have that late game possibility. And I mean, you do have a little bit of an advantage there in the late game.
Right,
The fact that
yeah.
you have an ADC, but Cassiopeia for Tempest might be dangerous. Might be dangerous in mid as well. Blitzcrank.
Ratchet, no flash, has to back off. Look, it's a potential 2v4 in favor of Tempest. Flash in, Martimus gets first blood there onto Ratchet. Luke flashes away to survive. Meanwhile, No Flame in an awkward position up here, misses the cannon. Oof. Meanwhile, Vitalize looking for a gank to help out his top laner. Hans does have the decoy, gets stunned up, not a whole lot of mana on this Wukong available. No Flame gets the damage reduction. Hans not going to be able to play any tricks there. Akuma get the kill in the top lane.
Yeah, I was greeting, trying to get the Wukong, trying to get the Gragas under turret, maybe look for a fight, but no mana means you can't escape that gank coming through Viego, and one kill traded across the board for each of these teams here. Viego going to pick it up for Akuma, as well as the Karma picking it up. It's a little bit of extra gold, extra healing, shielding. Cooldown boots actually built for the Karma. Very important in this game, especially into a Blitzcrank here, who again isn't on that bot side just yet. Looking to try and get some wards down. Maybe looking again towards mid lane, because no Flash wasn't used by the Cassio there, but Ghost was. So an opportunity here. Maybe gonna go for a hook, but not quite. And I already see the level advantage as well for the Karma Seraphine because of that TP that Seraphine was able to use. And it means that, yes, Twitch is going to have a level advantage, but you don't have that level 6 silence for the Blitzcrank, which is going to be super important in these fights.
Right. Ratchet, a big role to play here in another go-home match. Akuma sent down to the losers bracket, as we mentioned earlier, after a 2-0 loss to the Zenigma Dark Stars. Now looking to turn around their playoff run here. One game at a time may be the name of the game, as Akuma, first to strike onto Dragon, they're going to be able to pick up that objective with no problem.
Talon went for the reset. They said, okay, we have advantage bot because we're playing. Oh, Ignite down early here. Seraphine might go. Seraphine might be dead.
Look at the damage! Ratchet with the Ignite melts down a race, and that's a kill going over to the Akuma bot lane. Very huge gold onto Keyboarder.
That is perfect timing on the Ignite. You know exactly when that cooldown was going to be up. Went for a hook, able to land it, and no flash on Karma meant there was nothing she could do to dodge. Now, 1 kill advantage over to Akuma. Tempest still holding on to a slight gold lead, though, and the important thing is it did go over to Twitch, so your ADC picking up some kills, getting towards that level 6. Maybe looking for another fight there, because he's going to reach level 6. He is actually level 6 right now, so they do have that ultimate advantage. And level 5 for Seraphine here, no charm available. Maybe looking for a gank in mid. Martimus going to come.
Oh my goodness, and Moan over the wall, the
No
assassin underneath the turret takes down Fluke, no problem, and disappears back into the shadows.
I don't. Talon is one champion where, oh, he might be in deep, though. He has nowhere to go. He can't hop this wall.
Oh, knockup does not... Oh, Rash is not even worried about getting this kill. Flash is not going to be enough. Moan having some brain lag there, maybe a little bit. I don't know. Flash is a little late there.
I think that was just a greedy play. He wanted that blue buff. He was trying to smite it and flash, but you got to remember, you're playing against a Twitch. Just because you flash the wall, it doesn't mean the poison is not going to follow you. And Moan is going to pay the price for that move. He's going to give another kill over to the Twitch. Already at 150 gold bounty early on in this game. And if they can keep stacking those kills onto the Twitch, it might be curtains for Tempest here in this one.
Keyboarder right now 2-0, sitting very comfortably. And right now, Ratchet undeterred for being aggressive after the first little interaction there early on in bot lane, not really going his way. Still knows that the win condition of Akuma right now for his role on the team is to keep looking for those hooks, and so far Ratchet, he's got the right arm. That right hook is very much warmed up at this point.
He's got that. All the rust is out from the Blitzcrank right now. It's all ready to keep hooking that bot lane. Now you see Hans freezing this wave. Herald is up. Talon looking for it. Viego on the bot side again with this Blitzcrank, constantly looking to try and take out the Seraphine. And she can't even look. You can't even erase trying to get to lane, but is just scared that the Blitzcrank just sitting on the outside here, waiting for the Seraphine to walk up. Viego here as well. Does mean Herald goes over to the other jungler, but look at, you can't even get this wave. A giant wave is going to crash in this bot lane turret. Finally, they'll be allowed to walk towards and collect whatever was left of it. A couple ranged minions, but just extending that level lead. You see level 7 for this Twitch now, and as long as you keep him moving forward in this game, I think it's going to make life tougher and tougher for Tempest here.
Right, summoners are available for Erase and Martimus as Ratchet and Vitalize are looking for a play on the Tempest bot lane. Right now, Moan with Rift Herald on the top side of the map. It's going to be a 2v3, but it does not go their way. Ratchet burns both Summoner spells and Predator boots and comes up empty. Burns the flash out of Erase, though.
Ooh, pops the ult here, but not going to catch anybody with that Whirlwind. Going to get him on the second one, though, but he's so low. He has to be careful. Top rank could actually kill him. Flash E, that's going to be a dead flame. Barely gets him.
Oh my goodness, trades 1 for 1 there. Moan has to come in and clean up the mess. Hans gets taken down, and this Gragas pick for No Flame is working really well into the Wukong.
Yeah, definitely can't underestimate that champion in top. But first, when Gragas went to the top lane, I thought it was going to be like, oh, he's going to build full AP assassin in top, but no, you build tank on that guy and he does not die. And we see there Wukong trying to go for the kill, just bone plating, super strong, and unfortunately he didn't hit that first knockup. I think maybe if he does hit that, there's a chance they go 1-for-0 there, but in the end, still 1-for-1. Still got the trade back on the kill, so no big deal, no harm, foul. Yumu's completed for the Talon here after that kill. That's a huge item spike, and now he's gonna be looking real dangerous on this map.
Still Rift Herald in inventory as Dragon's about to spawn up here in just under 10 seconds. Vitalize taking a reset as the bot lane not really in too particular of a position to lean either way. Meanwhile, Explosive Cast Han's going to take a turret shot. A lot of damage coming out of the tank. Gragas, No Flame, misses the barrel toss, but has that empowered auto attack with the grass. Body slam coming right up. That's going to be a solo kill for No Flame top brain up in the top lane.
He's sick and tired of Hans's monkey business in the top lane there, and he's going to take him down with a solo kill. In the top lane, Herald going to charge mid as well. Some more gold in their pocket. Dragon going to be fought over here. It is Cloud Drake, I believe. No, it's Hextech, so a little bit of a spectator bug there. It is Hextech Dragon there, and it will be 4v4 here in the bot lane.
Moan's gonna dash over, Encore coming in as well, hits 2 members, Vitalize getting low, Petrifying Gaze, slows down the Swain, Fluke gets taken down, Keyboarder, still healthy though, Vitalize gets a reset, flash over the wall, Vitalize gonna try to get out with the Talon, moves, Ratchet stuck in the pit, nowhere to run. It's a 1-for-2 in favor of Tempest, but they lose the Dragon.
Dragon did go over to Akuma there, and with Ocean on the horizon, definitely feeling good about landing that smite. Yes, you will. You do end up losing 2 members, but important thing is you got the Dragon, and Twitch got a kill. 3-0 now for Keyboarder here. Has the Bork, is going to be able to pick up some more items soon, and that's definitely looking scary for Tempest. The more and more this Twitch picks up kills, the scarier and scarier he's going to get. But now a 202 Cassiopeia is going to be scary as well for Akuma here, and No Flame top brain, I think it's so funny that he has built Merc Treads into a Wukong and is still able to solo kill him. Like that just seems a little bit unbalanced to me, that you're building magic resist against an AD enemy and you're still able to 1v1 him, but it's just my opinion as a top laner, you know.
Gragas in the early game and with a 2-level advantage over Hans, No Flame handling business as look at Martimus and Moan heading into the topside jungle. Vitalize has to be careful. Rooted, Vision coming through, gonna burn Flash. Fluke unable to make any sort of movement there over. Mitch 202 on this Cassiopeia has slipped under the radar as Mitch last game on the Galio, sure, great engages, but this is where Mitch is super comfortable on these carry mages, someone to keep our eyes out.
I mean, even on the Galio, building a Dark Seal.
Yep, that's
I'm
true.
pretty sure
Yep,
stacked it
yep.
up to 8 or 10 at one point. Looked like a damage carry. Ooh, Ratchet. It's in a good
Oh,
spot here.
look
This
at
would be a
Vitalize,
big
though.
ult.
Erase caught out here, knocked up, slowed down. Ignite comes through. There's the encore. Flash away to escape. Hook misses. Teleports coming in. Mitch comes in, lands two people with the petrifying gaze. Root onto Moan means he's slowed down, but Mitch is handling business all on his own. Now it's a 3v3. Vitalize with the reset. Moan trying to assassinate Fluke. Can't quite do it. The bleed not going to be enough. Fluke survives, and it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Akuma.
2-for-1 over again. Akuma going to take that fight win. Able to get the shutdown onto Casio as well, but traded it back for the Twitch shutdown there. So both carries end up being taken down. Another kill over for Akuma here, getting themselves a slight gold lead, but... Ooh, actually, Flash... Oh, he's ignited. He's going to live.
Oh, the root is enough? I think some additional healing there. Fluke does have the Conqueror. Oh my goodness, somehow survives. Moan can't pick up the kill. Akuma right now up about 2,000 gold, and I wonder how much of that is just in the top lane.
It's got to be a lot of it here, and I mean, finally, Sunder going to come through. Wukong should be able to fight this Gragas much more effectively now, but the question is, there's no turret for him to go behind, and Gragas not completed an item just yet. Will most likely get it here on this back. Even with that Sunder, I still think this Gragas can easily be able to outdamage the Wukong. And I mean, you look across the board, the Talon, yes, does have an early item, is 221, but how effective are you going to be against a Swain, a Gragas? Like, other than the Twitch, who really are you going to be targeting? Because you don't really have a lot of other targets to go for when you're assassinating somebody.
I don't know if I've seen this. Fluke on the Swain going for a Leandri's build instead of the Rylai's Imperial Mandate. Billbang, can you provide any insight on that?
I cannot. I think Leandri's is always a good option on Swain. I think it provides you so much damage. And yes, I think Rylai's Imperial... you could still go for a Rylai's right after it. You can't go for that second choice. I think maybe the Rylai's build first is if you're getting monstrously ahead. Swain 0-2 and 3, not monstrously ahead in this game right now. So does have to delay it a little bit. But regardless, definitely still those two items most likely on the table here sometime soon.
So we see Akuma right now opening up the mid lane a little bit, trying to knock down that turret. Hans picks up the bot lane turret for Tempest, getting them some much needed gold. Vitalize pops the Rift Herald here in the mid lane, and worst case scenario, Akuma can just rotate over to the dragon that's spawning.
4 seconds on the Ocean Drag here. Akuma already have 2 in their pocket, and they are going to be the first ones on it. They have Gragas here as well. It's going to be a tough way. It's going to be tough for Tempest to even get into this fight, let alone try and get access to that dragon. They have the Scryers, so they're able, or Scryers, the Farsight, so they're able to see that it's down here. They have someone on the flank here. Can Wukong find a good ult here? That's huge.
Hans is coming in, the Encore as well. Dragon is the focus for Moan as Vitalize does not win the smite fight, but can Akuma win the fight? Let's find out. Is Keyboarder still healthy in the backline? Spray and pray, trying to dish out the damage, but is slowed down by the Miasma. Flash forward. Keyboarder picks up Mitch. That's one more kill needed for Akuma to try to finish off the rest of the team. Moan is long gone, trying to recall, but 3 make it almost 4 members of Tempest go down. Tempest do get the dragon, but the fight goes over to Akuma.
4 kills for Akuma. Absolutely wiped that team fight. Wukong with a good engage. Unfortunately, the Tempest Vipers just didn't have the tools to actually make it happen, and that was something I did want to talk about earlier on last game. In 12-13, the Leandri's burns no longer stack, so the Seraphine and the Casio, despite the fact that they have that extra damage, aren't nearly doing as much as they should be. Now, for Tempest, you're looking at this saying, okay, next time, how do we win this team fight? But you look across the board, 2.5 items finished for this Twitch. Most likely going to be finishing 3 before that next team fight. Gragas able to finish up that Winter's Approach as well as the Iceborne Gauntlet. All things looking up for Akuma right now. And for Tempest, I mean, you got to find a magical team fight if you are them, because right now it just looks doomed across the board.
Right. They do have Mitch on 2 items, but as you mentioned, some Not quite optimal Leandri's usage here. First Baron is going to be spawning in just a little bit as we cross into the 20-minute mark. Akuma Esports up about 5,000 gold. I think this is just about the biggest mid lane or mid game, excuse me, lead that we've seen in this entire series. However, as we know from between these two teams, an early 20-minute lead does not mean a victory whatsoever. But with Keyboarder on 2 items, Vitalize and the squad are going to pull the trigger on Baron. And look at Tempest. They have no idea this is going on, Billabang.
I think they have an idea. I just don't think there's a good way for them to get into this. They are going to float towards it now. Maybe look for a follow-up here. But Talon, not even in this fight. Wukong across the map. I just think they should back off. Yeah, they're not going to get it. They should just back up here. And they will go. They will do that. Honestly, I don't think they really had a chance at that. When you look across, even the level difference, again, 3 levels in top lane between No Flame and Hans. Like, that is just such a monumental difference. Twitch level 12. It's just so hard for Tempest right now to even team fight anything at this point.
Incredible zoning there from the rest of Akuma Esports. I think that kind of sequence, Billabang, speaks to the teamwork that Akuma has between themselves, able to, okay, you guys zone them here and here, we're going to focus down the Baron. They get the objective, they don't lose anyone, and they're looking to take control of this match and the series. Keyboarder getting super strong right now, 6-1-2. Meanwhile, it's going to be up to Mitch on the Casio and Moan on this Talon jungle to try and turn around the game. But look at how aggressive Akuma are able to play with this Blitzcrank and the Viego, always looking for picks, always kind of going into your jungle. You don't know where they are until maybe it's too late.
They're playing with such confidence because they're ahead significantly. There are objective bounties available. They're up 6k gold right now. You know they're feeling it. They're not even thinking about that last game. They're just concentrated on right now, trying to move their season forward. And Tempest, like we talked about, this is your entire season on the line for you. You are in lowers. It means this game will determine who moves on and who goes home in this series. Blitzcrank with a chance to hook here, has a lot of targets, but not going to go for it.
Tempest trying to break the game 3 curse, but with the minions purpled up, and Akuma opening up the top side of the map, looking to get that top lane inner turret. Just going to back off. A lot more range on Tempest this game around, and a lot more wave clear to kind of answer Akuma's pushes with the Baron buff.
They're going to be able to move this forward. They were able to at least claim a little bit of extra gold on the side, but hasn't been a super strong Baron for Akuma. They have kind of just been cleaning up waves, finding a turret here or there. Moan, gotta be careful. Nice hook.
Oh my goodness, Ratchet finds his mark, and Moan gets taken down as No Flame may be looking for a barrel, does not have flash available. Erase does have to be careful, despite having flash.
That's Ocean Soul too.
Potentially caught out here. Not Ocean Soul quite yet. Tempest were able to steal the 3rd dragon of the game. Still, Explosive Cast comes out. Erase gonna get hit by it. There, Mitch rooted up.
Ooh, big ult.
I don't think catches anyone. Keyboarder healthy in the back line, spraying and praying and firing away. The melt bars are going down. Oh my goodness, Erase and Martimus are the last ones alive as 3 members of Tempest get taken down, only for Ratchet.
They went for it all there and they couldn't find anything. A beautiful combo there with the Casio Wukong ult, but unfortunately the Wukong sitting at 1 item and a pickaxe. The Casio, despite being at 3 items, went down extremely early in the fight, and that really is all your damage you have available. Moan caught out again in this jungle. Actually might have some friends here. Flash Q from the Seraphine. I don't know about this one.
Burning the ultimate, as well as Moan flash from the Talon is going to take down Fluke. Moan picks up the kill, but critical cooldowns, as you mentioned, Billabang used to pick up those kills, which for Tempest, that pick there on the Fluke, not really going to turn things around.
Yeah, and I think the question now is you look across the board, no flash is up for anybody from Tempest except for the Karma here. And with Dragon Soul in 4 minutes, it means that maybe Maybe you have Cassio flash up Seraphine, and Talon for sure not going to have theirs. Maybe you get Wukong's, but when you're going into a Blitzcrank, going into a Swain, going into a Gragas, that flash is so important, and it means that in this team fight, people are going to be very, very exposed to these people, and these champions are just going to be able to topple them here. Everybody on Akuma is going to be a threat, and that really is probably going to be the next big team fight. That is the next big question mark, and they're thinking about how they want to attack this map. If you are Akuma and Tempest, you kind of putting all your hopes on Cassio at this point.
Yeah, Mitch has been a rock throughout this season. It's time to see what kind of rock. Is it sedimentary? Is it igneous? Is it metamorphosis? What are we going to see as this game unfolds? Tempest has been able to hold back Akuma like this before, but can Lightning strike in the same place twice? Baron about to spawn in about 50 seconds here with Akuma completely controlling the map.
Look at all the vision they have right now. There's just nowhere for Tempest to even try and walk forward here. Resets coming through for the Twitch. The third item completed. The Runans done. A BF sort as well. Viego picks up the stopwatch. You see Swain on 2.5 items. Gragas almost on that third item as well. Just level advantages, item advantages all into Akuma's favor. It's going to be a miracle for Tempest to try and win this game. But we've seen miracles happen before. We've seen them win a game with literally 2 autos left on their Nexus. So you never really know what could happen.
Meanwhile, Akuma rotating over to the Baron objective once again, but this time around, Tempest a little more prepped potentially for this fight, but Akuma, such amazing zoners with the Swain, with the Gragas. Getting into this objective is going to be tricky for Akuma. When do you turn the fight? When do you try to look for the engage? Baron getting low. Fluke and No Flame starting off the fight. Keyboarder safe in the back line, firing away. Here's Keyboarder popping off, firing, takes down 3. It's a triple kill for the Akuma ADC. You can't take your eyes off of that rat. 10-1-5 performance here in Game 3.
Spray and pray is the name of the game, and that is how Akuma played it. They did it perfectly, and that's the thing. When you want to get this beautiful Wukong Cassio combo, you have to face walk into Akuma, and that means that you are just not able to do anything against the Twitch. Able to get out from that one talent, unfortunately just couldn't get to him, and it meant that they are able to take this game. Martimus, the only person left from Tempest here, and looks like they're actually back off here. Going to go for this Baron. Dragon also up in a minute means you get the reset as well. So, I mean, for me, Tempest, you got one more chance of this game. It's going to be at this Ocean Soul against a Baron. Oh, they're not actually going to go for Baron. So, they have another chance at this game, but you got to take out that Twitch in these team fights.
I mean, it is clearly a different mindset for Akuma after how Game 2 went. They're not as much in a rush to close things off. They're working with a 7.5k gold lead, playing it very controlled, taking this match a little bit slower, wanting to set up for the Dragon Soul here to potentially secure moving on into the next round of playoffs. The objective spawns in 10.
Blitzcrank gonna walk up here. Ooh, missed the hook. There's a chance here. It's going to be huge. You have to watch this talent on the back. If he can kill Twitch,
Keyboarder maybe caught out. Moan looking. The encore connects. Keyboarder's deleted. The shutdown onto the Akuma ADC. Petrifying Gaze comes out as well. Moan gets the pick to potentially save the game as Tempest find 3 kills. They've only lost 1 so far. Billabang gets a 2v4 as Vitalize is going to try to turn things around. Can the Diego get a reset? Not even close. Mitch sinks his fangs into Akuma.
Finally, Moan finds that flank he was looking for the whole game. They get the team wipe. They're going to get the Dragon as well. They're going to stop this Soul March, at least for the moment. They are going to pick up a couple of shutdowns along the way, get some gold in their pockets, and finally, Tempest find their fight. They also might also be able to pick up this Baron if they get it in time. They don't have a ton of damage, though. And Talon looks like he's going to take a little while to get there. So Cassio has a bit, but this might be tough. And Gragas is going to be here. This might be a 50-50.
Here we go, buckle up Hans, low mana on the Wukong, explosive cast to separate the team. Here comes Fluke, they have a pick. Martimus is the first to fall. Fluke getting real low, the Fangs he's freaking strong. Mitch, the hero for Tempest, the mid lane rock. Look at the metamorphosis happening before our eyes. Mitch, hyper carry mode. It's a 2-for-2 trade by Baron. Tempest can't pick up the objective, but they're certainly not out of this game.
Yeah, they give themselves a breath of life there, and exactly what we wanted to see from this talent. Able to take out that Twitch early on in the fight, able to keep him away, and that did mean the fight was over after that point. You saw how effective. Yes, the Viega can stay alive with that death stance, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't have enough sustained damage to get through Tempest here. Baron's still available. Both these teams looking for here. Reset came through.
Oh my
They might actually
gosh.
sneak in. I don't know if they know this is happening.
Scuttle's not going to spot it out. Scryer's orb, little blue orb guy there is going to spot it out, but Tempest moving too slow. Look at the objective goes down. Do they have a way out? Recalls started. The stealthy keyboard recall. He's going to get charmed up. He's going to get caught out. Explosive cast to try to hang on. Spray and pray. Can't quite do it. Mitch over the wall. No flash for the Casio. Petrifying Gaze can't connect. Hans far too up. Has to back off. 1 kill for Baron. Nasher, Akuma get the objective.
They'll take that every single time. Really, really smart play there. They knew there was a scuttle in the river, but they went right into the backside of the Baron pit, able to pick up the Baron and only lose just the Twitch, who is going to have a stopwatch as well in this next fight. So right now, Tempest feeling a lot better about their chances. Black Cleaver picked up for this Talon as well. I expect the GA by the time this dragon comes up for the Twitch, so it should help him get through that armor. The question is going to be, can Gregus protect the ADC? Because that is going to be the big difference maker. If Gregus is able to spot out this Talon before he's able to actually get on top of the Twitch, it's probably going to be lights out in a fight. It's going to be very similar to that first game where we saw Hans tried to get in that back line, wasn't able to find room, was constantly spotted out, and it turned the game around in Akuma's favor. We'll see if they can do it again, or if Tempest are going to be able to find the flank system.
So, Keyboarder on this Twitch, Infinity Edge Ruans, I feel like is just like peak Twitch, especially at this point in the game, with Keyboarder being particularly ahead of a lot of the other players on the map. But, as we mentioned, Moan potentially looking for that assassination. Flash is traded. Support flash for support flash, but Ratchet loses a big cooldown there on the Blitzcrank. Keyboarder, meanwhile, stopwatch online for the Twitch.
Stopwatches on a couple of people here. We see the Twitch have it, the Seraphine has it as well, so they'll be able to stop any kind of engage. The question is going to be, can Blitzcrank find a hook here? Is he able to find somebody, pick them out? Because that really would make a huge difference. You can get a pick even on the Karma, take her out before the fight starts. That'd be absolutely massive. See resets coming through for several members here. Gonna pick up those couple last items before this dragon starts. This is gonna be, I don't want to say it's gonna be the end of the game because it probably won't be, but definitely will signal who most likely will win this game. Ocean Soul available for Akuma as well. See, they're gonna go for a reset here. Has Baron on a couple people. I don't know if it's gonna last long enough to get to the soul, but we'll see.
Very tricky game. The gold lead now shrunk down to 4,000 separating these teams. Mitch not quite on Rabadon's just yet. No teleport either. 45 seconds until the next Drake. Rotations have got to start coming through Keyboarder. Meanwhile, sneaky ambush looking for a pick there. Doesn't want to go in on Hans. Recalls coming out for the Tempest bot lane. Here we go. Mitch as well gets the Rabadon's 5-item Cassiopeia for the final fight.
My eyes are going to be on this town. You're going to see we're going to go towards bot. Doesn't get spotted out by any of these wards. Wave is coming towards him though, so he will be spotted out on the bottom half. They know he's not here for this fight. They're going to go for it. Going to pull the trigger. Blitzcrank.
Ratchet looking for the hook. He knows he can't fire it in because he's just going to maybe get the decoy. And that is enough for Ratchet to back off. Moan there looking for a pick, but gets caught out. Goes in, Viz. Keyboarder caught out there by the Encore. He's gonna get taken down. Moan finds his mark, finds his assassination, and the Tempest Vipers are going in. They get the big fight they want. Huge gameplay from Tempest to somehow take down Keyboarder. That is exactly who they needed to find in order to win the fight. Mitch goes absolutely godlike as Moan makes his way through the Gragas, through the Akuma front line, and finds the Lonely Rat.
It's the story of this entire series. One team gets ahead in the early game, and they start snowballing, and then there comes one team fight, one play, one moment where everything just gets turned completely around. We saw it in the last fight with Talon finding the backline. This one, the same thing happened. Greg CC'd him, but it didn't matter because a beautiful charm from Erase, an encore to last a lifetime, ends up finding the Twitch in the backline, and it means that they're not only able to win the team fight, they pick up the Dragon as well, put themselves on soul point here in just about 4 minutes and 20 seconds. 35 minutes in, gold, even, kills, even, dragons, even. I didn't think we could get a better game than number 2, but I think this is just about as close as we can get.
Oh my goodness. It all comes down to the late game here. Baron spawning in 45 seconds. Surely in the sights of both of these teams. So far in this final match, Billabang, Akuma has played around Baron so well. Keyboarder gonna get that red buff online. Wasn't able to use the stopwatch in that last fight. Was encored and then instantly deleted. So we'll have to see if once again Tempest can find another perfect execution onto Keyboarder, who maybe needs to just consider backing away from the fights and trying to enter them with stealth, try to get as far away from Moan as he possibly can, as Hans continues to play keep away with Ratchet with the decoy.
But it's hard at this point too when you're playing a blitz rank, because it's like, if I hook the wrong person, I'm not only screwing myself, I'm screwing my entire team. You hook that Wukong, he gets a free pass into your team. You hook the Castillo,
right.
She's gonna pop the ulti. So question is,
oh my gosh,
can Ratchet actually hook the right person?
Look at just the crazy amount of shields on the side of Tempest. No Serpent's Fangs picked up, but it's pretty tough. Not like anyone could itemize for that. Important Guardian Angel picked up for Keyboarder. So he doesn't even have to be able to press the stopwatch. Keyboarder is going to be coming back in this next fight. That might be the difference maker for Akuma. Baron has spawned, minions crashing into the mid lane. Tempest starting to play a bit of a macro game here. They don't have a lot of Baron damage, but they do have Cassio to potentially melt this down. Akuma, they're willing to take this trade. Here we go. Look at Baron Nashor. It's getting melted by the Fangs, as just now only the inhibitor turret has fallen. Akuma looking to get 2 inhibs.
They're going to try and trade 2 inhibs for Baron. Baron's going to come through here, but Talon stayed behind. Absolutely huge. A huge charm! Encore!
Into the petrifying gaze! Tempest Vipers find the backline as well! Keyboarder is going to be able to resurrect, but into full health bars on the side of Tempest! Billabang, are they making the miracle comeback?
Again, a second time in a row, Ratchet going down here right at the end, but yes, they are. Again, they're able to find a perfect team fight, erase a beautiful encore, and just like that, Tempest,
like
from the jaws of defeat, are able to win this series. It's absolutely insane. Ratchet and Moan just having a little bit of fun here in the bot lane. Big Hook isn't really going to mean too much.
Diva's unmaxed down in the bot lane. He's not getting sent back to base. Oh my goodness. Finally, Ratchet. But look at the death timers. Look at the Akuma squad now able to recall 1 inhibitor falls. Funny enough, all 3 lanes have super lanes, but only on one side. Akuma gonna be getting that push on the bottom side of the map. In a pause as we take a very deep breath here in the booth. What a final match.
It's a technical pause. I'm going to call it a timeout because it really is a timeout if you think about it for both these teams. I definitely think, you got Ocean Dragon coming up in 2 minutes. If you're Akuma right now, you are just like, okay, how do we deal with this Cassio? Because right now, you saw how strong she was in that fight. A like, there's no way you can actually win one of those team fights. You have to find a way to get rid of that Casio, and that is the only way you win. So it's got to be an amazing up from Ratchet. Probably going to be the only way. Zhonya's is available. So my question is, do you try and make a play for base because you got 2 inhibs down, and that might be your only option? Because I think team fights are going to be really tough to win.
This was Keyboarder's game on Twitch. He was 10-1-5, and then somehow Tempest Gaming have finally understood the key to cracking this Akuma composition wide open. And it has not been easy. It's been a tough nut to crack, but beautiful mechanics on display from Moan on this talent. And I don't know how this keeps happening. Erase is just perfectly timing these encores, and it's good. We're gonna have to get an encore of those encores. I feel like a third encore of the perfect ultimate we need to see from Erase for this potential upcoming fight. Here we go, back into the game. Billabang pauses over. Tempest up 5k gold now. What a swing.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. Gold at this point, pretty much irrelevant. Everyone almost full build here. You see 3 items for the Wukong, through 4 items for Gragas as well.
Gosh.
And we're back. So we'll have to wait a little bit longer. But I think for me, this Ocean Dragon is going to seal the game no matter what happens at this. And here we go. Back into this game. You see across the board, 6 items completed for the Casio. You have to take her down early in a fight, or else this game is just chalk.
Keyboarder has sold the Guardian Angel, now has a Last Whisper to try and, I mean, dead Guardian Angel, he went away last fight, so no use for it now. It was a 5-man encore in the last fight into Petrifying Gaze. Dragon is up in 25 seconds. Moan is slowly but surely making his way towards the objective. Akuma, it's gone from Keyboarder being 10-1-5 to now 10-5-6. It is a fully scaled up Tempest Vipers as they get ready to fight for the
thing to watch out for. I just want to point this out before this fight. There's no TPs available for Tempest Vipers here. 2 TPs for Akuma. So if they make a play on this dragon, there is a possibility to see a double TP in top, and they actually go for base. Because I think that's the only way they can actually do it. That'd be the only way. The dragon's already gone.
The soul has been claimed in an instant. Tempest Vipers pick up the huge objective. They've somehow circled it back. It's not been 4 dragons in a row, but it's been 4 out of the last 5 going their way. 4 ocean dragons stacked up just now. Fluke is the only one with grievous wounds.
It's going to be interesting to see how they play this one out. They're going to have to be careful, because until Twitch gets his GA up again, you have to have this Gragas sticking right on top of him so he doesn't die. Keyboarder needs to stay alive if AKM want to have a chance to win this game. But it's a tough task. Talon, 4 items as well, or 5 items, has the GA. Looking to go for this fight. They got to be careful. He's going for it.
Flash away, Keyboarder survives. Moan going in, deletes Ratchet's HP, but Keyboarder is still alive. Teleport from Fluke to try and join this fight. GA from Moan to try to come back. Keyboarder,
so many
HP.
chop watches.
Mitch trying gets a 2-man Petrifying Gaze. Encore
comes
in. Keyboarder still alive in the back line. Now has Mertimus not going to be able to do anything. It's a double kill for the Rat. Slowly but surely the poison from Gas taken away, and that's going to be enough. Mitch, the hero, the metamorphosis. It's complete, Billabang, as the Tempest Vipers have found the ace, and they have ended the Game 3 curse and are moving on into the next round of the UAL playoffs.
They were 2 auto attacks away from losing this series. Their backs were against the wall, and they said, no, this is our series to take. We are not going down without a fight. And they take down Akuma in Game 3 from a deficit yet again. Absolutely unreal stuff. Again, like you said, shout out to Mish there. Just a perfect play. 16, 4, and 11 on the Casio. He got to that 5 items. There was nobody standing in his way. Unbelievable stuff from Tempest Viper. And the mental fortitude to come back in this series down so horrendously after that first game, just getting completely wiped after being ahead. The second game being 2 autos away from winning, having it being 2 autos away from losing, and being able to come back and winning that game. And then the third one, again, behind early, but found a way to come back in the game, and just beautiful stuff. Shout out to Keyboarder. Absolutely unreal play on the Twitch. But I mean, Casio level 18 with 6 items. It doesn't matter what ADC you're playing, you ain't beating that damage.
Wow, what a finish. Tempest Gaming knock out Akuma Esports, and they're moving on into the next round, keeping their playoff hopes alive. Tempest, the 3rd seed from the Mountain Division, knocks off the 2nd seed from the Infernal Division. Rock beats fire this time around as Tempest come out on top after an absolutely crazy series. And Billabang, before we close out here, I want to take a moment. Shout out Moan on the Talon jungle. Who would have thought that would have come out on top, eh?
I mean, there was so many things in that final game. We were talking about draft. We're like, we haven't seen, I'm pretty sure like 8 of those champions we had never seen in picks or bans throughout the series. So always got some in that back pocket ready for that one. It was the Twitch on one side, the Casio for the other. And you can't get a closer series than that. So entertaining for us as casters. I'm sure the viewers, you guys also had a blast watching that series. And I mean, congratulations to Tempest moving on. Akuma, I got a feel for you guys. You were this close twice to winning that series, but unfortunately just couldn't pull it out. And I mean, shout out again to Keyboarder, absolute animal on that Twitch. And good luck in whatever endeavors you guys have. But Tempest moving on in the losers bracket. Excited to see where they go.
Yeah, but that is going to do it for our cast here tonight. Thank you guys so much for coming to join Mac and Billabang for another Thursday night of League of Legends action here on the Unified live stream. It has been our absolute pleasure tonight bringing this, oh my god, just absurd League of Legends action to you guys here. It's been an absolute joy. Shout out Hyper and Leanne for making sure we're all set and ready to go and looking as good as we do on stream. That's going to be it for us here tonight. I wish everyone watching a wonderful rest of the night and the week. Catch us back next Thursday here, same time, more UAL.